Welcome everyone to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We are live for the Top Fuel 4th Annual Top Fuel Racing Indianapolis 500. I am thrilled to be calling this race tonight. It is going to be non-stop action for 200 laps, 500 miles around the famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway. These guys have been practicing for week in and week out for this race. No, probably not that long, but still a long time. Nonetheless, I'm joined in the booth. Special guest with me, Todd Chase Jr., making his first appearance in the broadcast. He's a little nervous. He is having a little bit of technical problems, but he is here. Todd, you got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, in the booth tonight, first annual, or for your first annual Indy 500. This is the 4th annual for these guys. You know what it means to come here and try to win over $1,000 on the line tonight for these guys.
Yeah, it's a big stage.
It really is. Big stage, big money on the line, and 200 laps. These guys have a full field of 32 drivers, and right now Mr. Rick Ravon on top of the board, Jonathan Goke second, last season's Indianapolis 500, Justin Michael. This field is absolutely stacked. We talked about it yesterday in our podcast that me, Sam Cooper Bennett, Byron Rodney, and then Nate Siefker actually came in. Two of them guys are running this race, as I mentioned, 500 miles, and we talked about who we think is going to win. Even though they're running it, they still gave their favorites on who they think definitely that could have a chance at winning. And this is a non-stop action-packed race. Last season, we had, it was 38 laps of caution, which wasn't too bad, to be completely honest. And it was Jonathan Goke, as I mentioned, able to win that race. He basically, and I don't want to say dominated, but he was able to lead quite a few laps in that one and walk out with the victory. I forgot how much money was on the line, but he was able to lead 175 laps. I guess we'd go ahead and call that 175 laps is domination, I would guess. So, Todd, in your opinion, 175 laps be domination?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I believe the winner gets like $220.
Yeah, I think it was $220 is what. I don't know. How do you remember? I don't have the stats up in front of me. Do you remember the total payout? Like how many spots get paid out tonight? Was it like 13?
Top 12.
Top 12 get paid. 36% of the field. That is right. Now these guys did pay in order to race this. It was $30 to enter this race. So that's where all the money came from. To enter, and it is 100% payback to the field, well, to 12% of the, or for 36% of the drivers anyway. And Todd, I've never been a part of a big race where money has been on the line. You would think that would add a lot more pressure to these guys.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
lots of pressure.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you know, $1,000 on the line, 200 and what was it? You said 220, I think, goes to the winner. I personally don't think that there. I mean, of course, there's been other big, races, and I'm definitely not taking out of context whatsoever. There's been, hundreds and thousands of dollars on the line, but these guys are going to be coming out here trying to pick up the most coveted prize, that is the win. And there is points on the line. This is a racing league, so I can't take that out. Some guys didn't make the race because, of course, they didn't pay their entry fee on time. So they only took 32 drivers from that field. There is some drivers in here making a one-off appearance. Guys like Jonathan Goke. We got some other guys that haven't really ran a ton this season. Jeff Hollingsworth, another one of them guys that hasn't ran a ton this season. And Todd, I'm actually going to send you some more stats right now. I will send this to your Facebook, by the way. That way you can just have it up as well for this season. Stat-wise, I meant to send that to you last night. I kind of forgot. So bear with us, guys. We're kind of getting things worked out with him as well. But anyway, last week we was at Auto Club Speedway, and it was John Poole finally picking up the win. And he's been struggling to get that win. He's been wanting it quite a bit, and he has moved up quite a bit here in the point standings, picking up 2 spots last week. Scott Brinson taking the points lead last week, now leading by 9 points over Rick Ravon. So the IndyCar Championship really starting to close up. Now this is the halfway point of the season. After this race, we are halfway. These guys do not race next week. They're taking a week off, mainly to refresh themselves because we've been going at it for 10 straight weeks in here, included tonight, and this is the longest race of them all. So what I want to do right now is I want to actually bring someone in, and let me make sure he's not out on track. He's not out on track, so I want to bring him in. Scott Brinson, he is the owner and founder of this league. And I want to try to bring him in. Let me see if I can find him. There's so many people in TeamSpeak, it's ridiculous.
That's
Hey,
where we're at.
Scott, you got me?
Yes, sir.
Man, I had to bring you in because, one, not only are you racing in this race, but you are also the founder of the Top Fuel Indy 500 Top Fuel Racing League. So I wanted to go out, explain to me, I know the meaning behind the race, but explain to me what is the reason for you to throw this race in here, and what is the reason behind it, because you guys have been around a long time.
Well, the race itself is because you can't have an IndyCar season without running Indianapolis.
Very true.
And I've been involved with fantasy football and stuff like that, playing for money and gambling my whole life. So I thought, the way to get these races bigger is to get people pay an entry fee and have them have something on the line.
Right.
And have them care more than they normally would than just coming into a free entry race. We've been doing the $15 entry thing, which was about $500 race purse, and somebody kicked an extra $100 in on the last one, so we had over a $600 race purse,
Right.
and it just got me thinking. So, well, if we can get people to kick in just a little more, we can build this thing up to be even bigger. And right now, I doubled it. I wasn't sure if I would get people to send me $30, but I was successful. And who knows where we can take it from here at this point.
Yeah, man, and actually I didn't mean to bring you in. For some reason I didn't think you was actually out
You're
on
good.
track, so I apologize for
No,
that.
you're fine. I talked to you. You're good.
So $1,000 on the line, man, and you're one of the racers in this, of course. We're watching you right now here in practice. How much pressure actually is on? Because everybody wants a little bit of extra money. Why not? Especially $200.
Honestly, the money aspect to me, it's really not that big of
Right.
a deal. I've got a lot of other things going on.
Right.
I really haven't been too worried about it, to be honest with you.
Right.
I've built this race up in my head a lot in the past,
Mm-hmm.
and just by things going on, it kind of got pushed to the back. But even so much, I didn't want to build it up like I had in
Right.
the past. I just want to approach it just like another race. So in that sense, to me, it's just another week. Just happens we're racing for $1,000, but I really don't feel a whole lot of pressure, man. I don't know why. I'm just ready to go out here and race, man.
So you said it's a little bit different in the past, and I know the money's not a thing. So I got to talk to you. You are leading the points. This is the halfway point of the season after tonight. So points definitely have to be on your mind. Is that the main thing you're really worried about tonight right now?
Well, obviously, I'm only built one way. I want to win the race.
Right.
So I'm going out here to try to win the race. I'll say that.
Right.
But points are always right there with that. It's kind of like it goes hand in hand. So, yeah, but at the same time, I realize we got 10 more races to go. As you've seen, it's been a roller coaster in the championship.
Yeah.
Me and Rick been trading the lead back and forth. We got 2.5 more months to go, so no telling what can happen. I'm not really going to live and die by the points tonight. This is Indy, and it means more. And with it being the day that it would have been my parents' 43rd wedding anniversary.
Wow.
My dad was the reason why I got into Indy.
Right.
And if I were to win it on this day, obviously it'd be pretty damn special.
So the final question I do have, we do have some one-off drivers in here that hasn't raced a lot this season. Is that something you think about? Because you never know what could happen with some of these guys.
Yeah, there's some guys in the field tonight that they're not racing for points, but at the same time, they've put their $30 in too.
Right.
So obviously they're going to care for the fact that they've got money invested
Right.
in this, and they know they can win some money. And obviously people are going to be talking about this race. So I think everybody, for the most part, is going to drive with a level head. I'm sure you'll have some guys taking some chances as the race goes on. There's really no sense in it early on.
Right.
But at the same time, with all the cars out on the track, how's the aero going to respond and how are people going to respond to that? So that is a big wild card. It's a great question, but I'm not really going to worry about it. I'm just going to go out there and do what I got to do. And if something happens around me, I'll just, wreck avoidance, try to avoid it. If I get caught up in it, I get caught up in it. We got one reset, so it'll be a long night.
All right, man. Well, good luck. We're going to be up here watching you and cheering y'all on. Go do your thing, buddy, and good luck. We'll be watching you throughout the night.
Oh, before I go, man, I want to take a minute to wish my mom what would have been a happy 43rd wedding anniversary. And, Mom, let you know I love you very much and appreciate everything you did over the summer here, allowing me and Brittany and the kids to live here and your hospitality and putting up with all the bullshit that went on over the summer. I love you, and you'll always be my mom. You'll always be the best damn mom in the world. And Thanks for letting me be your son.
For sure, buddy. Good, congratulations on your parents. I know that's unfortunate with your dad, but congratulations to your mom. I know it's probably a hard day for her, but man, go out there and see if you can get a win.
Oh, my dad's watching tonight. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, buddy.
Oh, a hell of a race, man. You always do, brother.
Thanks, man.
Later.
All right, Todd. Qualifying underway. So I got to ask you, Todd, as we watch. I'm currently watching the 00 right now of Mark Walker. How important is it? Do you want to start up front in this race, or would you prefer to start back? In your opinion, where would you want to start?
It just depends on how the race plays out. Some people like to start up front to get out of the whole mess in the middle of the pack, and some people like to start in the back to kind of avoid that as well.
Yeah, because wrecks definitely have an occurrence, especially at the Indy 500, to happen early, especially on iRacing. And I was lucky enough to win this race a couple years ago and led almost every lap, I might add. But see, I started at the back and actually worked my way through the field and got up front really early because of the wreck that happened early. So, yeah, man, I think it's one of them things, like you mentioned, you got to wait and see how the race really looks like it could play out. These guys do got one fast repair, which is a good thing, but you don't want to use that fast repair within the first 50 laps. Let's just be honest. So, I'm sorry.
You don't.
So Mark Walker's going to put down his first lap. There you go. He's going to jump up 40.313. Hop over Mr. Rick Rayvon, currently second in points. One of the favorites actually in this race is Rayvon as he crosses the yard of bricks. Does this actually will this be his first lap? It will not be. So what we'll do, we'll actually hop on board with Rick Rayvon, and you can get a look here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway yourself. You see how smooth he is on that wheel, working out a turn 2 on this long back stretch. And one thing about this race, Sam Cooper Bennett jumps up, takes the lead, or qualifying spot. Good job. We'll see how that holds up. But one thing about this race that when I ran it and I broadcasted it last season, and nothing against these guys whatsoever, the race actually becomes boring for the driver and the broadcaster. I was going to say it, but the race does become boring, especially on really long groups. Like, you start really getting fatigued. You're ready just to get out of the car, but then you look up and see you still got like 80 laps or 60 laps or 40 laps or whatever's left. And, you got to stick it out. That's what these guys are here for. They're here to win. And there's only one way to do it right now. So here's Dan Neese in that 80 car, working off turn number 2 down this long backstretch here. And by the way, thanks to everybody for tuning in. We're actually broadcasting on 3 different channels tonight. We're broadcasting over on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. And Adam Jocelyn comments and said, I've run 2 Indy 500s. Safer place I found was being up front out of the mess. I mean, that's the way I look at it too. If you're able to qualify well, and you can qualify well.
Rick Raven up to the top of the list.
He does. 40. Wow, good lap too. 40.098, and he was fastest. Justin Michael currently second. John Poole, by the way, is who I'm really watching tonight. But I've been the same way, man. I think up front's a good spot, but you also, you got to stay out of trouble no matter what happens. So you just heard Todd mention Rick Rayvon, and now he goes back to second. It's just Michael jumps up, takes the lead. That's the guys that's going to be interesting. Yeah, them 2 guys right there is going to be very interesting tonight. They're going to be swapping. I'm still waiting on Jonathan Goke to come out, by the way. Last year's winner, he actually is not out. He may actually start in the back, which he's got a little bit of time here in qualifying. Jeff Hollingsworth, who are you watching right now, Todd?
Right now, I'm still kind of watching Mark Walker.
Let me actually jump back. Is he still qualifying at the moment? He actually just caught his car. Jeff Hollingsworth going to jump up to 3rd. Justin Michael, Rick Rayvon, Sam Cooper Bennett, John Poole. Let's jump back to Nate Siefker. He's another guy that we talked to yesterday. By the way, Matt Burkhart, another good guy that has a chance at winning this race. Can't count him out. I mean, there is just so much talent in this race, man. It's so hard to say who's going to win. We'll get our picks. I kind of made my pick yesterday. I picked John Poole as Rick Rayvon just jumps back up and takes the pole away.
Yep. That's who I'm watching tonight.
Yeah, he's definitely got to be one of the favorites, man. I mean, he's won so many races over the summer. He won the Top Fuel Summer Series Championship. He's second right now to points. And it's really tough to say second because he has been great. He just gets caught up later on in races. He's been up front every race. He just gets caught up. Matt Burkhart right now out on track. We're watching him. as he works out of turn number 3, actually down turn 4, down pit road, I lied. So let's see, Ethan Liegel is out there, coming to the start-finish line. See what he jumps up to, currently 20th. He's definitely going to move up. He does move up on that lap to 17th. So we'll see if he jumps a little bit more. Somebody else that's out there is Marcus Hagman. He's another guy that I think has a good chance. There's a lot of, I mean, like I said, anybody can win this race, man. It's Indianapolis. Everybody wants to go out here and win. So it's not like I can sit here and say, oh, these guys should win, these guys should win. I'm still saying Rayvon's going to win, Byron says. Man, I want to get started in Irish and just need info on computer setups. Ray White, if you message me on this page on ESBN, I will set you up and tell you what you need. And it will be cheaper. I will. Yeah, there you go. PM Byron. He's available right now. So there you go. And Byron does know what he's talking about. He's a broadcaster here at ESBN. And he can definitely help you the right way. Because so many people try to, you need this computer, you need this computer, you got to go high. No, you don't. I used to race on a $300 computer, and I mean Todd Todd's right now on a cheap computer. You don't need all that fancy stuff.
No, you don't. And I believe I paid like $200 for the computer or something. So yeah. It's very, very baseline.
Yeah, you don't need nothing real fancy. I mean, just be honest. I mean, for broadcasting purposes, yeah, you want to spend more money because it helps with the quality for the broadcast, but you don't need all that like everybody thinks you do. A lot of it's more just people saying it. Right here, John Polk qualified 8th. Rick Rayvon still your pole sitter. What I want to do, actually, let's keep going with the pole right now. I want to Christopher Bouchard. I didn't know Bouchard was actually running this race. That's awesome. Bouchard, a very good stock car driver. Let me see if we got any comments on Twitch or YouTube. Tuning in to watch my old teammate Rick Rayvon. Bush Davis says Scott feels no pressure. That's Byron Rodney, of course. Whatever happened, let's hope we put on a fantastic show for you. Yeah, I agree, Marcus. I think you guys are going to put on a great show. And Brittany says, good luck, Scotty. All right. So we got a lot of people in here pulling. Scotty, wait a minute. Brittany, is this the Brittany that Scott always talks about in his interviews? His girlfriend, Scott? I believe so. And speaking of Scotty, there he is. Scott Brinson is out here on the track, putting down his lap here. Every interview, he always mentions, make sure he thanks his girlfriend, which is a good thing, I believe. I don't think you want to get thrown in the doghouse, Todd.
Oh, no.
So here is Scott actually out there. From what I was told, by the way, getting ready to move. I believe he's moving to Florida, which I know he's super pumped up about. So, yeah, it's awesome. I'm glad for him and his family as he works out of turn 4. Let's see what he can do. I think it's his first lap, so I don't think this one's actually going to count too much.
Another good driver to watch is Tony Pizarro. He's sitting third right now on the grid.
You are correct, actually. And he's still out there actually running right now. That Todd, I like that paint scheme, by the way. It's nice. Currently third. So right now, man, I'm seeing there is some surprise names as you see Tony Pizarro coming down pit road. But I'm seeing some names that kind of talking. I'm not surprised to see Jeff Hollingsworth running good, but I was surprised to see him come in here and put up top 5. Timothy Bates, a solid qualifying effort. Tony Pizarro, like you just mentioned, that's a really good lap for him. I haven't seen him this season, I don't think, maybe once. As we watch Scott Brinson crossing the yard of bricks, where is he going to jump up to? He's going to jump up to 14th with that lap. And let me go back here. Hello, Logan. Jonathan Goke says, I'm waiting. I figured you was. Jonathan Goke, who I'm actually waiting on to come out. And I know he's waiting. He just mentioned he is waiting. And I believe he actually brought back the paint scheme that he wanted the last Indianapolis 500 with. It's like a DuPont Jeff Gordon throwback paint scheme on an Indy car. Really awesome looking car, by the way. So we'll be watching him. Jonathan's one of the guys that he's going to be up front. Everybody here knows it. But with other news, by the way, we mentioned it yesterday on his podcast. His G27 that he did race with and was used to, Scott Brinson jumps up to 5th. Good lap there, 40.086. But Jonathan Goetz' G27 clamp on his wheel actually broke. So his wheel basically broke. And this happened yesterday or day before. And I can't remember. I think it was the day before, I believe. And he got lucky and actually got the wheel in, I believe it was today. So he's racing with a brand new wheel, G29, which in my personal opinion is better than the G27. I'm just going to go ahead and say I've had both and still got the G29. But I do think the G29 is both. And if it's that case, some of these guys might want to be on the lookout once again for the leader that led 175 laps last season. And if you lead 175 laps in Indianapolis, you've done something right, let's be honest.
Definitely.
Yeah. Roel Alvarez on track right now. He's actually qualifying. Let's check out some more comments. Logan, it is good to see you, man. I ain't seen you in a minute. Let's see. Who else do we got? We got some people over here. Yeah, Byron Byron did do the podcast with us on the iPhone. And Byron, it worked really good. I've gotten a lot of compliments. And if you guys haven't listened to the podcast, listen to it on the ESBN Facebook. It is on the YouTube as well. Let us know what you think. I know Todd listened to it, but I've gotten a lot of good feedback from it. I was a little bit wondering because it's put together last minute. But from what I'm seeing, everybody liked it. Todd, you watched it or listened to it?
Oh, yeah. I pretty much watched or listened to pretty much the whole thing there.
It was long, too.
I think it was like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours long.
Yeah, it was really long. But it was good. It wasn't bad. I've gotten message after message on Discord with the other leagues that we broadcast. And it's been constant, good feedback. When you guys want to do another one? Who are you getting to come on next? Todd, I know we've talked to you about trying to get you on, which is awesome. And by the way, Jonathan Goat just left pit road. So, uh-oh.
Yeah. We got about 5 guys left. We got about a little more than 3 minutes left here in qualifying.
Yeah.
If you're one of them 5, how long do you wait for?
Well, I think we're seeing Jonathan. You get 3 laps, correct? I can't remember if you get 3 laps or 2 laps here in qualifying. I cannot remember. Might be 4 laps. But here's the guy, the 24 car right now is who everybody's watching. I promise you, everybody right now in this that's watching this broadcast and that is in this race, they are 100% watching him because this is a guy that everybody has marked. He's that good. I mean, he is good. There's a reason he's that good. The guy knows open wheel cars. So here he goes. Now, he did qualify 24th right now, but trust me, that lap time's getting ready to shoot up through the sky. And I'm guaranteeing right now, I'm going to go ahead and say it, he's going to jump into the top 5. And I really mean that. And them are close lap times. And I mean, if he jumps into the top 5, it's going to only barely be it. Because right now, the top 7 is not even a tenth apart, nowhere near a tenth. So it's like half a tenth. I mean, they are close. So we'll see how he does as he crosses out of turn 4, coming to the yard of bricks. Let's see how he does on this lap. Looking from 24th, he's going to jump up to 10th, actually. So does he get another lap? And if he qualifies 10th, hey, I'm not counting him out by any means because but I think he might get I think it's 3-lap qualifying, I believe. So I'm waiting to see. Yeah.
You got to look at the list here. I think it's about all the way down to 8th until you see everybody's running 40 O's.
Yeah.
And the 8th is about 40.1.
40.1,
so
yeah.
It is really, really tight.
So here comes Jonathan off turn 4. This lap going to count, by the way. As he crosses the start-finish line, does he jump up? He does, 4th place.
Not a bad lap.
Thanks, Byron. I appreciate it, buddy. Also, I just seen Ray White's message. Byron popped in and said wishing everybody good luck tonight in the booth. So Byron's done this plenty of times. He knows. He's
Byron's sitting right
look, there he is.
Right here in the booth, watching this race. I'm on the road. I'm in an 18-wheeler. I'm up in Delaware, and I'm excited to watch the Top Fuel Racing Indy 500.
Byron,
Man, you said you were going to do that yesterday.
Yeah, he said he was going to do it. Here he is. Byron, for people that don't know, he broadcasts for ESPN. I know we got a lot of people that's new to watching right now. Broadcasts ESBN as well. Is the main voice right now in NASCAR, but he's a truck driver, so he's constantly on the road all the time. But I'm glad that you're actually watching. That's awesome.
I don't mean to interrupt, but Jonathan Goak just moved up into 2nd.
Yeah, that's about what we figured. Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to jump up and say hi to you guys, and I wanted to wish everyone out on the track good luck. I'm going to be watching from the truck. And I'm going to be messaging Ray to let him know about a setup. And, hey, good luck and good broadcast, guys. I'm going to be right there with you.
Thanks, buddy. I hope you enjoyed the race, too.
Thanks, bud.
So here we go, Rick Ravon, and we're going to try to interview Rick here during caution. Let me get a look at the grid here. I want to try to get Rick. He's probably so focused, I'm going to be honest. It's probably going to be a lot to get out of him because this is one race that he loves. Like, he is obsessed with Indianapolis and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway history. I actually watched his podcast that he does every week or every day. He does like a little live, I don't want to call it a podcast, but he calls it the Ravon Report. But it's a live video. He talks about it, and this was the main thing he talked about today. And I know he's pumped up for it. So I am going to try to get him in here in just a second. I'm waiting until he actually grids up, and I think he just did. So let's see if we can grab Mr. Ravon and talk to him. He is your Indy 500 pole sitter here for the 4th annual Top Fuel Racing League Indianapolis 500. So I will pull him up real fast if I can grab him. Hey, Rick, you got a second to talk?
I got a copy, brother.
Man, Indianapolis 500 pole sitter, I know that don't mean too much. I know it's a good accomplishment, but the big race is about to begin. What's your thoughts right now heading into it?
Well, I just want to congratulate Jonathan Koch on his win tonight because,
Whatever.
I've been saying that all week.
Whatever, man.
But, he's the alien, and we really have to chase him down. I'm kind of surprised that I was able to get the pole because I know that Koch is just a master. But I'm also pretty darn good around here myself. So, it's a long race, and we're just going to try to keep Koch in sight and hopefully be there at the end. That's all I can really say.
Yeah, man. I will let you go because I know you got to get focused. I didn't want to keep you in here too long, but I am pulling for you, man. We're about to put our picks in right now in a second, so we'll be watching you.
All right. Thanks very much, my brother. I just want to say hello to everybody out there watching. God bless all of you. And for those of you that are watching me and supporting me, I love you. Family and friends, love you.
There you go. So we'll be talking to him hopefully here soon. Once again, right there's Jonathan Koch lining up beside him in that famous number 24 paint scheme. And you see it right there. These two guys is the ones that's really going to be the ones to watch tonight, I think. So it is time for everybody to get the predictions. I kind of gave mine yesterday, but I'm going to make sure I give it again. So I want to go over to Todd, who is joining me in the booth, Todd Chase. Todd, who's going to win tonight?
I believe it's going to be Ravon.
You think Ravon's going to get it? That's a good pick, though, man. Not bad. I mean, there's a reason why he's up there in the points right now. This is Indianapolis. So I'm going to go completely away. I made this pick yesterday. I'm going to stick with it. And it was hard, though. Coming in here, it's so hard because I honestly about went to Michael Jeans. That's honestly who I about went with. But I'm going to go with John Poole. I think he's going to go back-to-back. He won last week at Auto Club, and he's been constantly won last week in 3 top 2s in a row. This is Indianapolis, though. So I don't know. You see the cars working right now off turn 2. Everybody in the chat right now, let me know who's going to win the race, and I will make sure everybody mentions it. Qualifying was extremely tight. It was very close. There's Jeff Wepker chiming in. So everybody right now, let everybody know. Justin Michaels in here. That's another guy that just commented. I don't think we can count him out either. I mean, the guy's always up front, too. Like I said, I don't know who's going to win. I just don't. Whatever. We're going to find out here in a minute. Whoever's getting ready to start. As the pace car works off, we're about to get this Indy 500 underway. This is 200 laps, guys. This ain't no watered-down version of the Indianapolis 500. These guys do it the legit way. Me and Todd Chase Jr. in the booth with the call as the Porsche pace car is getting ready to drop off pit road. And when it does, it is going to be all hell breaking loose here in Indianapolis. I apologize as the green flag get ready to wave. There goes the pace car. Here we go. 200 laps as the green flag is out in the air. We are not going racing, it appears. Now we're racing here in Indianapolis as we work down into turn 1. Battle right now going to be back for second. Jonathan Koch under attack. It appears that is, I apologize, all my stuff's trying to get situated. Justin Michael is showing a little bit of attack. These guys, watch for them to get single file for most of this long part of the run. They're going to try to get single file. Up front, Jonathan Goke looking to the outside. Not going to be able to get it as he works down into turn number 3. Still working that outside line around Rick Ravon. Will Ravon give it up, or will he try to race him this early? Coming through turn 4, it is still side by side. Who's going to lead the first lap here for the Indianapolis 500? We are coming to the second lap. First lap is going to go to, oh, wait a minute, Justin Michael grabs the lead going into turn 1. I don't know where that draft came from. Good Lord. Todd, what are you seeing right now? Your first Indianapolis 500 race, it is all chaotic, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Everybody's fanning out way in the back.
And we got a caution actually out on track. Sam Cooper Bennett is on pit road early in it. Oh, boy.
That's not good.
Yeah, now he does got one quick repair, and I feel so bad. I think I actually jinxed him, and there's why he's on pit road. He just literally died going into turn 3. We're watching him once again. Let me see if I can find him. He made contact with someone else, too. Oh, somebody slid up in front of him. Not sure who that was. It looks like the 40, I can't tell, maybe 45? Let me look. I think it was the 45 of Scott Bolster. Let me check, and if so, well, this is going to be a little interesting. There goes Scott sliding up. Yeah, that was the contact. So Scott actually got into this race last minute. And Scott's a very good IndyCar driver, so it's kind of surprised to see him slide up like that. And Sam just got in the back of him. What's interesting about this, and I mean this with all due respect to Scott and Sam both, is Sam actually broadcasts Scott leagues on Thursday nights. And they have a race tomorrow. So, yeah, good luck with that one.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah. So, Sam is going to go a lap down. He does have that quick repair. Keep that in mind. He is going to go one lap down. So, he's probably going to get back on the lead lap at some point here. As long as he can tow quick enough. Hopefully, he don't go 2 laps down. But he is actually sitting on pit road right now. So, Justin Michael is in the lead. We just seen him comment a minute ago, and he grabbed the lead super early in this one. Coming down the straightaway, utilizing the draft, slingshot to the inside, and grabbing that lead away from Rick Ravon and Jonathan Goke. So, the pace lights are still going to be on. We got some cars coming down to take, or go ahead and top off for gas, because why not? You never know. Todd, this is another place that could actually come down to fuel mileage. I'm not sure what these guys get on fuel mileage here. I think it's around 30-something.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure either.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what it was. So we do got some guys coming down. Sam Cooper Bennett, unfortunately, is going to go 2 laps down with that damage. But he shouldn't go no more than 2 laps down, I don't think. So he should get out here in a minute. But the thing is, we're going to have to see Sam be a little bit cautious here again. And this has been Sam's kind of repertoire, I guess we could say. It's kind of his in his wheelhouse, unfortunately, this season. He has gotten taken out early in a lot of races. And he's just had a hanger on the back for a lot of the race, hoping to get back on the lead lap. And, you know, a lot of it, we mentioned it yesterday on the broadcast. I know Byron's watching right now. We mentioned it yesterday on the podcast that Sam, that is one of his biggest issues that he has, is trying to stay out of trouble. I had to resign my spot due to engine failure. Computer broke down. Jeff, I was wondering why you wasn't in here. I was wondering 100% because I know you're fast, and I think we mentioned you on the podcast yesterday. What, did your whole computer mess up? That's horrible if it did. Things like that are just bad. What can you do, I guess, sometimes. So, anyway, hopefully you get it fixed. So, Justin Michael up on front. We're going to look here at the top 10 real fast. You see him popping up on your screen. That's who's running right now. I don't know why it's showing Tony Pizarro inside the top 10. He is actually back in 19th. 10th place right now is Chris Walker, which definitely we talked about him yesterday as well. Another one of them guys that may be able to steal one. Looks like we'll go double back up this time, I do believe. So we will see. Those pace lights go off. They are not. So what we're going to do, guys, while that goes on, we'll take a quick commercial break and be right back. By the way, Sam Cooper Bennett is back out on the track 1 lap down. So we will be right back right after this for the quick commercial.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was always fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos or danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all will be kept in the pits. Not to mention that with members in over 130 countries already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series and work your way up to one of 7 world championships, offering over $500,000 in prize money. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We are doubling up here, and I did mention Sam Cooper Bennett involved in that wreck. He is 1 lap down. So one guy I want to mention that actually was supposed to start this race, 10 wide claw, because you start with 34 here at Indianapolis. We got it up. And yeah, Todd is back again. He finished, he started 34th, and unfortunately, not actually in here, so I'm not sure what's going on. We got some more cars coming down pit road right now. I'm not entirely sure. I guess they just want to top off, I would guess, but here we go. Going to the backstretch here, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Give Todd just a second, guys. We had to adjust his push to talk thing. It was being weird again, so it's okay though. We'll get it fixed out or figured out. So we're about to go back green flag here on lap number 7, coming to lap 7. After a quick and early caution here in this one. Still 33 cars out on the track. And of course, Sam Cooper Bennett back here in the back right now. And 1 lap down. So Justin Michael, Rick Raybon, Jonathan Goat in row 2. And then Michael Jeans, who I did mention, someone to definitely watch out for as we get set to go. Yeah, Todd, it's started again.
Let's go.
So here we go. Green flag about to pop out. And we are... Get ready. Green flag back out in the air here once again. Indianapolis 500 underway as it is. Justin Michael is going to be leading them down into turn 1. You get a great view from behind him looking back as Jonathan Goat appears to look under Rayvon. Will Rayvon let him go for right now? It looks like he might not have much of a choice. And Goat going to take second away. Rayvon might not be able to fall in line right now as Michael Jeans works down the back stretch. Will he be able to take that third spot away? And then you got some cars all the way down towards that bottom of the apron. Look at this, 3 wide for the lead. Rayvon had to cut Goat a little bit of slack. He did. And we are still staying green for now. Looking back through the field, everything's okay. I thought I had somebody coming down pit road. Now we do not. Will Rayvon be able to pass Jonathan Goat here at the start-finish line? It's going to be close. Rayvon with that lap lead. So Rick Rayvon leads his first lap here in the 2019 Season 2 Indianapolis 500. We still stay green. And looking back right now, we are getting single file up front. Battle right now going to be back a little bit further. It is
Caution's out.
Caution is out. And who wrecked this time? Roll Alvarez, Cody Dempster. This was a pretty good one, I believe. Oh, we got cars flipping in this one. Was Sam Cooper Bennett in this one?
Man, I sure hope not.
I don't know if he was or not. It's okay. Sam was not. I think it was actually Scott Bolster again. Let me look. Which would be kind of weird. I'm trying to see who that other car actually was. Give me just a second. Oh no, it was not actually. Who is that? I'm trying to see who that is, guys. Just bear with me. Trying to see. That ain't Sam. Where's Scott at? Give me just 1 second, guys. I know it's I'm all over the place right now. I'm trying to see who else was in that one. I don't think it was Scott. Oh, it was. Scott Bolster wants to know. I don't know. Something happened there. It's kind of weird. No, it wasn't Scott. I'm not sure who that was, actually. I apologize for whoever this is. Oh, it's Roll Alvarez. That's who it was. I apologize. And Roll Alvarez looks like netcode, actually, between both the two. And that was something they spoke about, actually, during this week's practice. They had, like, some severe netcode actually taking place on track. And when I talk severe, I'm talking about, like, half a car length. Netcode was taking place during the second practice. Second or third practice. I mean, it was like gaps of netcode taking place between drivers. And we actually had this same problem at the last Indianapolis 500. As I thought Justin Michael was coming on pit road. He does not. But we had the same problem at the last Indianapolis 500. And this right here is exactly what Indianapolis is. We mentioned at the start, you're going to have cautions to start this race out. It will thin out eventually. Hopefully it don't, because I hate seeing guys get wrecked out that paid money to get in. And it takes themselves out. But I think the biggest thing is some guys have to realize that this race is 200 laps long. And it's already late. It's like 9 o'clock here. And I'm sure it's 9 o'clock for a lot of these guys as well. So you don't want to be out here to 1 o'clock racing. Nobody does. And I know we don't want to. But a lot of guys, and I know that right there was netcode, so I'm not saying it's that one. But a lot of guys just need to calm down and remember that they can't really win within, they're not going to win this race at least to the next 150 laps. I mean, you just can't. So, I think that's been the biggest issues we've seen with these races. But like I said, that right there was netcode. That's just iRacing for you. And I seen somebody comment and said that they, Ray White commented and said that he actually raced on PC or raced on console for 12 years. And iRacing. Now, Todd, you've raced on console, I'm sure. You've raced on PC. I know you've raced on PC a lot because you actually came over to iRacing from the ARCA Sim Racing, even though you still race that. It's a big difference from console to PC.
It's a very, very big difference.
Yeah. I don't know if you can elaborate maybe some. What is the biggest difference that you've experienced? And I'm talking about somebody that might not understand coming over from console to a PC. What is the biggest thing that you can tell them? I know that's kind of a weird question and probably hard to answer.
Probably the full control.
Yeah, I think that would be the
best. On consoles, you don't have any control going down pit road or anything like that, whereas racing on PC, you have all the control.
Got everything. I agree. Yeah, I think the biggest thing, with that, like we're doing right now, this right here is not, you don't skip cautions, not on iRacing. You don't skip cautions, not on ARCA Sim Racing, not on NASCAR 2003, you didn't skip cautions, none of that. The biggest thing that I've noticed from console over to here, because I was a big time console racer. I used to love racing Gran Turismo, NASCAR Heat. I used to love it.
Same here.
Yeah, so And the biggest thing I've noticed, honestly, competition's so much tougher here. I mean, I used to be able to go on a computer or console and win races constantly, every day. Now, if you can win a race on iRacing, you are legit happy for yourself because it is hard to win here. It is very hard. NASCAR drivers will tell you the same thing. IndyCar drivers will tell you the same thing. Anybody that races on iRacing or any sim racing game will tell you the lack of, or the immersion that you get and how hard it is to win here is super tough. That's why, like, the PCAN Free Series, that's why the guys over there are racing for over $100,000, because they are tough and they're good. And everybody puts it down and everybody talks, like, they'll see it on, you know, the NASCAR broadcast, because NASCAR will actually broadcast this, and they talk about, and we can say this here because we're not on national TV, which is probably a good thing, because it's hard to tell how many words I would say that probably get edited out. But here, you know what I'm saying, but here we can legit be honest with it. There has never, and I don't think there is ever going to be a game right now that's like iRacing. And I'm straight up honest, I'm not biased whatsoever towards it. Now, Project Cars is a good game.
I don't think so either.
You don't think so? I've raced Project Cars. iRacing is still harder. I've raced other games on computer. iRacing is still harder. And this is the closest thing that you can come to race in real life, hands down, without actually being in the car. There is no question. And I don't think there's a legit argument now.
Yeah, especially with the new.
Yeah, like what you just said. What was you going to say?
Just like with the new year model that came out here a week and a half ago or whatever in the K&N cars, that is the closest thing to how real life cars handle on this track.
It's weird too, because like you're racing. And you can kind of tell in the console when a car's pushing up. You can tell. But when you're in actual with the wheel in front of you, and some people have all this immersion. People run VR. I completely understand it. It's just so much more immersive. They run triple screens. Completely understand it. Some people run motion rigs. Completely understand it. But when you're running iRacing, the feel of iRacing is a lot different to other games. Now, Assetto Corsa is a good game. I'm not going to lie. It's a good game. R Factor was a good game. I guess it probably still is. But you just feel the difference from PC to console when you're racing cars on here compared to console. Like in a joystick, and you can run wheel on console as well, but you can just tell the difference in the cars, if that makes sense. Like the NASCAR cars on here handle 10 times different than what they do on console.
Definitely.
Yeah. So
well, looks like we're going to get ready to go green again.
We are. And see Jonathan Goke, he had a connection issue there. He did close that gap back up, so we are set to go back green. Lap 13. And I do want to mention Sam Cooper Bennett back on the lead lap, so we'll see if he's aggressive or not. Personally, I wouldn't be. I'd just drop back. Green flag back out in the air once again. It is Rick Ravon leading us down into turn one. We got some guys actually having pit penalties coming down. And who is that actually coming down? Looks like Sam Cooper Bennett may be one of them guys actually, and Cody Dempster having a pit penalty. So they're dropping down as Rick Ravon able. We got 3 wide down the backstretch. That cycles down to 2 wide, and now it cycles back down to that. So now we're back single file once again. This is going to be Indianapolis all day long. We're going to see this time and time again. Guys coming and going throughout the night. It's really going to be interesting as who we see the main top 7 or so cars. Will they be dominant up front, or will we see them come and go? And we got another car actually dropping off.
3-wide battle for the lead.
It is. Who leads this lap? Ravon led that lap. But here we go. Here's the battle everybody's been waiting on. Ravon, Jonathan Goke. Jonathan Goke takes it out of turn 1 and 2. Watch the draft down the backstretch as Ravon going to try to slingshot around him. Let's hop on board. There you go. Looking to the inside now as they work down the backstretch here in Indianapolis. Long backstretch. And then you got Justin Michael right there on the wing of Ravon. He backs off a little bit, which is definitely what you have to do in Indianapolis. You have to let off a little bit. One thing I've noticed, and I was taught this by my team, Overtake Motorsports, and I have to give them a shout out for teaching me this. So, Jonathan Goke looking to the inside, going to lead this lap. I believe that might be his first lap led. Let me double check. It is his first lap led. But I got to give a shout out to my team Overtake, because they actually taught me at Indy cars when I won here. There's a ton of give and take in this race. If somebody's on your inside going into turn 3 or turn 1, you have to let that guy go. You don't want to be caught on the outside. One, it can cause you to push up into the wall. And lose that and crash as Rayvon takes back the lead here once again. And this is exactly what we're going to see up front all night. It may change a little bit if the tires, if we stay green. And there we see right there, it looks like Scott Brinson pushed up. And that's what I talked about, pushed up into turn 3. He actually lost that spot. And now he's under attack once again from Nate Siefker, who's running a different paint scheme by the way. So it's awesome to
I think go back to the lead.
Yeah, so that's exactly what we're seeing right now. It's just basically a slingshot game. So that's a little bit different than what we've seen. Actually, it's a lot different than what we've seen because, as I mentioned in the first race that we had, the first Indianapolis 500 that we had with these guys, here comes Rayvon. He's back to the lead. The first time that we raced with these guys, the Indianapolis 500, Jonathan Goat dominated. I already said it. He led 175 laps. Something's going on with these cars right now, and I don't know if it's where they changed. Here comes Goat. Will he be able to lead this lap? That was
yes,
close.
He will.
He does. So, yeah, he did lead that lap, as Todd just pointed out. So, as I mentioned, the first last IndyCar race, Jonathan Goat led 175 laps. But I want to mention this. He led 175 laps. He didn't have to deal with some of these guys. Rick Rayvon was in here, but I want to keep in mind, he actually finished 15th. He did lead laps. Rayvon has grown a ton since the start of that race. I mean, when I say that, like, he is a whole different. He also didn't have other guys that he's got to deal with. I don't think Michael Jeans was actually in that last race. I don't think he was, and there's a couple others I know that wasn't. So you're looking at a whole different, drivers, a whole different look at drivers. There is some guys that ran it, but there's a lot of guys that didn't. For example, the 98, Tyran Bergelli, who's in here, and I hope I pronounced that name right, by the way. But we see him right here on the backstretch right now, up in that high line. Yeah, right there in that white car, the Max Pappas car. That is a driver that a lot of people talked about. Look where he started. He started 19th place and already up to 8th. That is one person that somebody did talk about, and we talked about him a lot yesterday. Across the start-finish line, Rayvon. See, Rayvon right now is kind of getting, and Todd, you see it as well as I do, I'm sure. It's kind of the same thing right now up front. Rayvon's going to take the lead down the backstretch. We know that. Correct? Like, that's what we're seeing. And then Goat's going to take it again out of turn 4.
That's correct.
Okay, so I'm curious right now because Rayvon actually stayed behind Goat this time. So I'm curious, is he doing this on purpose now, Rayvon? Because I think he just seen it as well. It took him a couple laps. Rayvon is one of them guys, I want to mention this. He is constantly in the car. His brain goes like 90 miles an hour himself. I mean, it's constant. Like, it's just all over the place. And he's doing the same thing Goat did. So he's trying to set it up the same way Jonathan did the last couple times. So he already learned that. That's one thing he's learned. But he's constantly in the car learning. That, to me, is what makes Rayvon so good and so deadly when it comes to these races. There is other guys like that in the field that do it. Brinson is another guy. He's 6th right now. Scott Brinson right now, completely okay. Whoa, big wreck between 3rd place. Who was this? I cannot tell. Jeff Hollingsworth involved. We got cars flipping. And, oh, Lord, who else was that? Marcus Hagman. I don't know what happened. Was there contact? Let's look. Here's Jeff Hollingsworth. Right here. Oh, it was the 87. Who was that? Justin Michael, actually. That got such a big run. Didn't let up. And I think that Hollingsworth let up a little bit. And Michael, a big name with some heavy damage. And he flipped on Tony Pizarro and everybody else. As you see him flipping 100,000 times here in the middle of turn 3 and 4. And he actually had to tow. This is Indianapolis. Like, we talked about it yesterday. Heartbreak at Indianapolis happens early. That is one of them that's pretty heartbreaking right now because he is one of the favorites to win this race. So, unfortunately, that takes him out. So, we'll take a break, guys. Because I got to get me a drink. I am, like, out of breath already. So, we'll be right back after this.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was always fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos or danger until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all will be kept in the pits. Not to mention that with members in over 130 countries already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series and work your way up to one of 7 world championships, offering over $500,000 in prize money. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. Adam Chapman with you in the booth for the Top Fuel 4th Annual Top Fuel Racing Indy 500. Join with me in the booth, Todd Chase Jr. And I got to go ahead and say, Todd Chase Jr. is by far the most NASCAR name you could have. Anybody ever tell you that?
Nope, you're the first one.
Yeah, it's 100% the most NASCAR name you could have. That is a great name. I just want to say that.
Yeah, I guess when you say that, you know, you look at guy that's really on fire right now in the Cup Series is Truex Jr.
Yeah. You got Dale Jr. That used to race. You got Chase Elliott. I mean, like, dude, your parents named you a great name. You gotta give him a shout out for that, because I wish my name was something like that. You know, I wish my name. I used to broadcast a guy. His name was Blaze. I thought that was the greatest name ever. I wish my name was something like Blaze Chapman or Base Car drops in. We are back to racing here once again at Indianapolis Motor Speedway as the green flag drops with Ray Vaughn, Jonathan Goke. And by the way, breaking news: Sam Cooper been out of tonight's event, and got to be heartbreaking. And I don't know exactly what happened, but I have seen some words being said over YouTube. So don't blame him too much, I guess. And Michael Jeans right now, they get single file for the first 10 or so cars. And we go back.
Three wide battle for the lead here again.
Yeah. Man, Michael Jeans is really going at it right now. He takes it away, too, on that bottom side. And Rayvon done a great job of protecting that bottom side right now. Well, I don't know if he's going to be able to hold it. It's Jonathan Goke and him battle down the straightaway. Also a battle right now for 4th place with Chris Walker and Scott Brinson. How about Chris Walker? He's done a great job. And here we go. 3 wide once again. Rayvon takes it away. Wow. What is one thing, if you noticed, Todd, that I haven't really spoke of? I know we're seeing pretty much, you know, the swapping back and forth a ton. But what is one thing else? Have you noticed anything else besides what I've mentioned?
No. Well, I guess you could say the draft plays a big factor in them runs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my only reason that they're able to actually do this back and forth. It's got to be the draft. Just slingshot. And I'm just curious, you know, with the weather, and we showed the weather a little bit earlier, 111-degree track temp. Eventually, you would think that the tires would really wear off over longer. And what's going to be interesting, if we actually make a green flag pit stop, and eventually I think we're going to, I think that's just, you know, natural, as we watch John Poole run that bottom side right now, actually getting passed by Christopher Bouchard. Bouchard ran super high, by the way, which is interesting. But we're seeing, if we get that green flag stop, I think it's going to space a lot of these guys out. And that's where the racing, to me, really comes in. This right here is Indianapolis. This is racing. But I like watching the guys get spread out, especially some of the faster guys. And then can they catch the guys on the racetrack by doing that? As we cross the line, it looked like Goke able to lead that lap. Now 8 laps led at the moment. Oh, God.
Rayvon battling for the lead again down at the bottom.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Sorry, I took my eyes off of it, and I was reading the message that I got, and I would tell you during commercial break, I can't say it over the air because it's not good. I think you're okay, though, Sam. I think you're going to be okay. Up front for the lead.
Goke's going to lead that lap again.
He's done that, and we talked about it during that last part. This has been just swapping back and forth constantly. Goke gets him back in the same place. Rayvon's going to try to get him back on the back stretch, just like we've seen. We've seen it time and time again. Here comes Rayvon. And who is that jumping out of line back there? Good Lord, it's Chris Walker. No, I apologize. That is Bergelli jumping out of line. Oh, this ain't going to be Rick Rayvon out of turn 3 this time. We're down the back stretch because here comes Michael Jeans. So, I think Rayvon really has to figure out what Goke is doing. He may already know, but he probably don't want to show his hand right now too early. As at the line, that was a close one. Who got that one? Michael Jeans with that. Wow. Let's check back throughout the field a little bit. These guys up here are still racing for the lead. We know what's going to happen. Here's Ethan Liego right now battling Kevin O'Brien. I think these guys back here are really just backed off. I don't think they're racing too hard. I think they just want to buy their time, which is the smartest thing to do. I mean, what do you really have to lose? By the way, Justin Michael back out on track. He is 1 lap down. Just want to make sure I mentioned that. Matt Burkhart back here running with Jeff Hollingsworth, who's up here actually battling right now. Johnny Annucci. Johnny, one of them guys that a lot of people don't see as a threat. Honestly, they don't, and I hate to say that because I don't like saying that, but they do not see him as a huge threat. But I think the guys that run here on a regular basis do kind of see him as a possible threat because he has. He didn't have the greatest run last week, but he has been solidly putting together some solid runs week in and week out. I mean, he didn't race back at Gate or Milwaukee, but I believe it was a race before that. He had a couple good runs, but anyway, I don't think you can count Johnny to be outside the top 10 in this one. For a lot of these guys, I mean, we just know like Indianapolis kind of reminds me a lot of Daytona. It's just anybody's race. And Todd, I'm sure you feel the same way while watching these. I mean, they run pretty much nose to tail the same line. You know, yeah, just switching opposite spots on a backstretch or something. Tony Pizarro right now, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yep, that's what I was just going to say. He's battling here with Scott Ballister. Oh, going to jump into the top 10 real quick.
Yep, he did. So that puts him now 10th. Where did he start? Started back in, actually started 4th. So he actually probably dropped back a little bit on purpose, I would guess. Or he may have had a little mishap on pit road or something as well. Actually, he did. Looks like he has had a little mistake on pit road, but yeah, definitely working his way back inside the top 10. Definitely the right way to go. Remember, right now it is, what did I say earlier? 12th is what we said. 12th through 1st gets money, I believe, or is in the money?
Yes.
Okay. So, and these guys did pay $30 each to enter this race. Remember, $1,000 on the line. The winner walks out of here with $220. Right now, we're basically seeing the same thing up front. So that's why I'm not too much focused right now on these leaders. It is constantly going back and forth. Jonathan Goke is setting these guys up out of the turn 4 and out of turn 4 just like this, able to lead this lap just like he did this time, and it's constantly going back and forth. These guys have to figure out a way right now to stop Jonathan Goke from doing that. They have to figure out how, because if not, that's who's setting it up right now to win this race again. Last time he was here, as I mentioned, led 175 laps, and a lot of that he didn't do this. I want to mention, I kind of mentioned that earlier. He didn't do that, but because this race is a lot different what we've seen last time, so far anyway. So
yeah, Adam, I got a question here about these guys running up in the lead, swapping back and forth like that. How much do you think that affects their tires coming in here to the long run?
It's interesting, too, because I've been wondering the same thing. These guys are constantly diving in and out and even entering on the low line. A lot of guys in the back are arcing it in at a big arc like we're seeing them right now do. But, like, if you're underneath, say, Michael Jeans, who's second right now, who gets a run, he's going to dive it underneath. He's going to enter a lot shallow, a lot flatter going into turn 3 or turn 1, just like that. He's not arcing it in like the rest of these guys are. It's got to be somewhat affected the tires. Just like Rick Ravon entered a little bit lower. So it's got, eventually, you would think it's got to be taken away on its tires. And I'm curious because I don't know what it's going to do in the long run yet. Is it going to make the cars tight or loose? You would think it would make it loose, because the gas is going to get low over the long run, and that's going to lighten the car up, so the car ain't going to be as heavy, and the track's already 111 degrees. So you would think it would make you more loose, and the tire wear would be a big factor, I mean, of that as the long run. You would think. These guys have been out front for 14 laps with these tires. That's how long we've been green once again. So, I mean, you would think that there would be some heavy tire wear. That's a good question, by the way. So, yeah, I mean, it's something definitely you got to think of. I mean, like a lot of these guys we see back here towards the back running. Like I'm sitting here watching Paul Crumrye. That's a guy that a lot of people talked about last night as well. He's one of the guys that knows how to save tires. Scott Brinson, another one of the guys I say that's really consistent. He's another one that is always there towards the end of the race. And I think a lot of it could be with saving tires. Now, there might be somebody on the chat that might be able to elaborate with that a little bit more, that has an idea more than what I know. But I know whenever I raced it and won it, my tires, I mean, out front, nobody really passed me, so it was interesting because we didn't go back and forth like this either for a long time. So I can't really 100% say that my tires changed a lot. I mean, it got loose, I believe, but that was just from the gas. So it's got to make it got to be different with the tires.
Adam, I'm riding on board with Jonathan Goke, and I'm looking. It looks like, right? Yeah, I noticed Jonathan Goke here. He's running wide open in 5th gear.
Let me look here. So yeah, you see him right now. He is in 5th gear, and that's another thing that we got to keep an eye on too, as well, Todd, because I've noticed the last couple of races we've been in, I've seen a lot of guys actually switch. Now, when you get a run, you're going to switch up to 6th gear. We know that. Like when you got draft, you should switch up to 6th. I don't think you're going to drop any lower than 5th. I know I didn't. But I am curious to see if anybody actually does switch up to 6th in the draft. Like Rayvon. Well, he switched up to 6th. Actually, right now he's in 6th gear, running right behind Jonathan Goat. And he's actually entering in 6th. He downshifts to 5th there. So I'm watching out of turn. Let's see if he shifts back up. So in the draft, yeah, he shifted back up to 6th. And I will say this, Todd. If you're out front like what we're seeing right now, and we're single fall through.
This huge run that Rayvon's getting up on him.
Yeah, he's getting huge runs. I think a lot of it's got to do with him saving actually gas as well. There could be a lot of fuel mileage being saved right now. It's got to save gas, I mean, if you're drafted. But we are starting to get a lone green flag run here as well. 18 laps into this one. Here comes Rayvon now looking to the inside. But see, it's still a weird place to pass because I feel like Goke is going to get to run right back on the straightaway on the front stretch. Let's see.
Nope.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to get to run like we've seen, that's for sure. So that right there may be a way that Rayvon can keep the lead a couple of times. That was a great pass. And that's a good practice. Let me ask you, Todd, when you're racing for the lead, and I'm curious about this, and I know my aspect of it, but I want to see what your take is. When you're racing for the lead and you're second, do you practice setting up passes while you're behind somebody?
Definitely.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I think every race car driver does that.
That way, when it comes down to the beat where there's 3 to go, you know what you have to do to get around them cleanly.
Somebody else I want to speak of is make his way up is Nate Siefker. He is climbing the board right now. He started in 11th. He's been slowly climbing the charts. He's now up to 5th, running right in front of Chris Walker. Scott Brinson has moved up to 4th, running right behind Michael Jeans. We are getting a little bit of a breakaways here, and this is what we kind of expected on the longer parts of these races. That's just Indianapolis. This is the time that I start really enjoying Indianapolis because I like seeing the drivers try to run down somebody. And I say that we got it's Rayvon and Jonathan Goat both around, and who is that? Michael Jeans may have been involved. Oh, Rayvon with more contact.
Yeah, what I noticed is Rayvon and Goke were kind of swerving back and forth trying to break the lead draft there, and I think Rayvon just kind of came down on Goke, and it took them both out.
Oh, man. Well, the good news is both do have a quick repair. Here's a great look. You guys be the judge of this. When I'm looking at far chase, Todd, if you go to far chase on your cameras, right with Rick Rayvon, it's a great view. I'll be honest, I think Goke had such a big run he couldn't let up, and I think where Rick was just diving it into the corner, I think that's more of a racing incident, honestly, than anything. And I don't know who else Rick tagged right here. Michael Jeans was involved as well, by the way. And I believe that may have been, I think that was, what's his name? I'm trying to find it. Roel Alvarez. That's who else it was. So, Mr. Brinson takes over the lead. And I'm sure the chat right now is livid. Yep. I was waiting on it to say it. I wasn't going to say nothing, Sam. You know what, Sam? You know whose fault Sam thinks it is. I wasn't going to say nothing about it. So, pit road is going to be open. As we look here, as you see the flag man way back there waving a heck out of that flag. Look at that flag man wave that flag. That's how you wave a flag when you're up here calling races.
Yep.
So Scott Brinson does come down, as the rest of them. And the good news is Raylon will be able to make it back to pit road, I believe. Yeah, he's going to make it back to pit road. Here he comes sliding in. I don't know where Jonathan Doak is. There he is. And I'm curious. Okay, so wait, did he? Okay, he must have came down pit road already as soon as that wreck happened. He went ahead and came down. So he's going to be starting at the back end of the field. Yeah, he'll definitely be starting at the back end. All right, so we'll take a quick break, guys, and come back. We're 44 laps into this one. Come to 45 next time by. Top Fuel Racing IndyCar 500, or Indy 500. Sorry, I'm all over the place.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was always fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos or danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all will be kept in the pits. Not to mention that with members in over 130 countries already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series and work your way up to one of 7 world championships, offering over $500,000 in prize money. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back, Indianapolis 500 Top Fuel Racing League, working our fourth caution here tonight. Make sure we're not doubling up. We are going to grab our interview, but I need to make sure we're not double file here, which we may be, but yep, we're not going to interview nobody right now. So sorry, Todd. So we are double file. Scott Brinson out in front. And I'm sure his girlfriend Brittany, because that's what he always says when during the interview, and I always laugh at him because, like, I know who Brittany is. I know everybody else don't, but he always makes sure I want to thank my girlfriend Brittany. He says that every interview, and I always kind of laugh at him. I mean, I understand why he says it because he don't want to get killed, but you know, I don't ever thank my wife when I win. I just want to point that out. She don't drive for me.
Do you think maybe he did the dishes before he was able to race tonight?
He probably better should have.
Yeah.
Especially this race. Because
Right.
most of the races only take like an hour and 20 minutes. So, you know, but he probably should have at least made dinner, at least. Because if not, she's probably going to elbow him while he's asleep and just drop like one of the atomic elbows on him. I would.
Yeah, definitely got to sleep with one eye open.
Yeah. And that goes for any of these guys. I think if you're racing this long of a race, although if you win the money, you got a chance to use that money to take like your girlfriend or wife out on a date. There is that.
Definitely.
There is that. So like you could be out of the doghouse in an instant as long as you finish good.
Yep.
But if you don't finish good, she's just going to look at you and shake her head at you and walk away. What did I get myself into? Can't even finish a race.
Yep.
Sorry, Sam. Pace car about to drop in. Scott Brinson. Christopher Bouchard. Bouchard, that was an underdog I did not know was racing, by the way. I'll talk to him about him in a minute. Very good driver. Green flag. Back out of the air. We're off here again. And inside road checked up. Yeah, somebody not moving. Mark Walker really slow in the back. Not sure what's going on back there. There you see them. They are rolling now. Jonathan Goke right now caught behind a couple of these guys. We stay green. Goke right now working on William Hall down the back stretch. I thought that was Mark Walker. That was actually slow. It was William. I do apologize. Up front for the lead is Chris Walker, Scott Brinson, Tony Pizarro. Tony's done a good job, Todd.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, he's dropped back at one point and worked his way all the way back up now to third. Maybe even trying to take second or the lead away. A great job.
Chris Walker to the lead now.
Oh, Brittany, Scott's girlfriend said she's at work tonight. So, yeah, Scott, you better have the dishes done before she gets home. Oh, he got some of the... Actually, wow. What a save Scott Brinson just had. And I want to get
Nice
a replay
save.
of this. Yeah, he went through the grass, man. I don't even know how... And he's going like 230 miles an hour. And I want to see this again.
Here we go, Pizarro into the lead.
That is crazy. Pizarro is grabbing the lead. He does take it away. Moves him in. So after all that, by the way, Scott Brinson. Whoa, where did he fall back to? Hold on. Okay, he's in fourth. I thought he fell back like 10th or so. Actually, under attack right now is John Poole and Dan Neese. Dan Neese, another guy that has worked his way up through the field. He started back at 18th place. He's up there. And Kyron Bergelli, who we mentioned before, started 19th up to 7th. So we're having a lot of guys that actually didn't qualify well, working their way up towards the front. Pizarro, once again, going to lead that lap. 2 laps led for him. And he's still under attack right now from Walker.
Look at that guy that's running 10th there. Oop, where did he go?
Paul Crummer?
Ravon now up to 8.
Oh, Rick Ravon working his way back up through the field. Wow. Yeah, I think he's on a
It's
mission
just
right
a
now, man.
10th.
Yeah, I feel like he might be on a mission. Right now, he's right now showing it in 7th now. Wow. Working right behind Dan Neese. Watch this run. He gets out the corner. Yeah, he's going to look to the inside and going to try to get around Dan Neese. Now he's starting to work into some of the harder cars, Dan Neese as well. And speaking of somebody else, not able to get around Dan Neese, by the way, Jonathan Goke, where he restarted, he has worked his way back up to 18th in this one. And remember, him or Rick Ravon both, none of them have a fast repair left, so these guys got to be a little bit careful. One thing, if you wreck here at Indianapolis going this fast, you're pretty much done. I guess you might be able to get some of it worked on, but for the most part, the wrecks are so like brutal, you're pretty much out of the race. One thing I can't wait on is the damage model to come to these cars. That's going to be very fun to watch. So we're watching the lead switch over to Chris Walker, who takes it away from Tony Pizarro. There's your look down at Chris Walker. And Tony Pizarro, by the way, Todd, I just seen on the chat that Sam actually commented, he was the winner of the 2nd annual Indianapolis 500. So he's trying to win again here tonight. Watching right now. Top 4 kind of breaking away. Let's jump back a little bit. Let's actually hop in the middle of this. Let's ride on board. There we go. It's a great looking view. This is with Jonathan Goat, by the way. Sorry, I know some of you guys probably don't like that view right now. But it gives us an idea of what to look for in the car. Oh, here comes a big run. He's going to look to take 15th away now. There comes the slingshot to the outside. This is on Ernie Ludwig working down the backstretch. Ernie with a little bit of a block there. Good job. Able to hold on to that spot. Yeah, the aero in the mid-pack right now really different compared to what we've seen up front. And I'm sure some of the guys in the chat has an idea about that. A lot different aero than what we've seen from guys in 3rd or 4th compared to back here in 15th. Here he goes now, looking again to the inside, trying to take that spot away and slide job. He does take it away. Here comes maybe a crossover from Ludwig. Not going to happen just yet. Up front, still single file right now throughout the field. Racing's been pretty solid so far. We have worked 4 cautions, probably more than what these guys wanted. I know some of the guys in the chat feel the same way. Rayvon has worked his way inside the top 5. Just got around John Poole. Right here's a big battle because remember, these guys are 1 and 2 in points. So I know there's money on the line, but there is also a championship still to be determined later this season. As you see, Rayvon right now working on the back end of Scott Brinson in that 14 car.
Walker going for the lead again.
Shut back up to that. Sorry, I was typing a message. Somebody messaged me on Facebook. So I apologize. Walker does take back the lead. It's pretty much what we've seen earlier, going back and forth with these guys out in front. Who is that back here behind Dan D? Scott Bolster. Oh, wow. Scott Bolster has worked his way inside the top 10. I was not aware of that. And this right here is a whole hornet's nest of cars. There's a great look. You see right behind him Paul Crumrine, Nate Siefker. Jonathan Goke has worked his way. Kyran Borelli actually has fallen back now to 12th. Kind of surprised to see that. As we are a quarter of the way through with this one. Who's looked so far at your race summary. How about that? We're going to break a record for lead changes, by the way. So far we got 15. Just in 57 laps. The most I've been a part of is 38. So, if we keep doing what we're doing, we should break it.
I definitely think we will break it.
Yeah, we're definitely going to
Maybe
get
not
close.
even quite halfway yet.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. He's running 5th gear even in the draft. I wouldn't know what arrow is. I never really got to the race. You got a point on that one, Sam. I felt so bad for when Sam Cooper Bennett, when he wrecked on that like lap 2, lap 1. I felt so bad, and that was a weird wreck because Scott got into him. Bolster got into him or whatever, and it was definitely accidental. He just pushed up, and Sam was up there. And I felt so bad for Sam because I know what this race meant to him. Like we talked about it yesterday. You could hear it in his voice. I can't really imagine what he's feeling, honestly, with that. So it's kind of sad, but that's Indianapolis, man. I mean, how many real-life guys have had that same situation happen? Who was that one Indianapolis 500 driver? And I'm thinking it was Hinchcliffe, but I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. And I know some of the guys in the chat definitely know, but he ran out of gas or he hit the wall coming out of turn 4 a couple years back. He was in a National Guard car. It's been a couple years now. It's been a few years. I felt so bad.
I think it was Hinchcliffe.
Was it Hinchcliffe? That's what I'm thinking it was too, but I know there's a lot of guys in the chat that know, but I'm thinking it was as well. I felt so bad for him. And there is Chris Bouchard, by the way. Just raced with him myself not too long ago the other night. Like I said about Chris Bouchard, he is a 100% through and through stock car driver. When I say that, I mean it with all due respect, because he knows how to win races in the stock cars. And as we almost see Chris Walker actually get the wall off turn 1. Done a good job of not getting it, but we got a, what is this, 5-car breakaway right now? And I do want to mention Rick Raybon has moved into the 4th position. I do want to mention Jonathan Goat up to 7th at the moment. I'm curious though, because if Jonathan Goat gets from
Walker into the wall,
and he's pushing up quite a bit. Yeah, he's on pit road. He is bringing that car to pit road this time, I think. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and go to pit road. And what's good about it is where yellow flag comes out for the. Oh, there's another wreck. Tyler Lugo Vickery around in turn 3. Actually, this is turn 4. I apologize. Well, was it turn 3? It was turn 3. And I don't know who else he made contact with. Yeah, that's going to take a couple guys out of this race. There was a lot of damage on some cars there. Let's see. Here you go. Pushing up, pushing up, pushing up. Arrow, boom, wall spin. And then that looked like the 67, or was it the 97? Made contact. Somebody else got him too, right here. He sat there for a long time. There was another one. Oh, nope. I think that was it. So, caution flag comes out. Tony Pizarro, Christopher Bouchard, Rick Raybon, Scott Brinson, John Poole, your top 5. J.R. Hildebrand, that's who it was. Yeah. I'm glad you said that. I felt so bad for him. That's just Indianapolis for you, though, man. Like, you had to feel for him when that happened. I'll tell you somebody else I felt really bad for, and I don't mean just to make fun of him when I say the name, but I really did feel bad, was Danica Patrick at, I can't remember, was it this year's? It was last year's Indy 500. The last one she ran, I think it was last year.
Yeah, it was last year's.
Yeah. I felt so bad for her, man. Like, honestly, I did. I felt bad for her. Because whether you respect her or not, out of all the women at race, she was one of the most, I don't want to say best, because I don't think she's the best, but it's close. She may be the best, but she's one of the most decorative, like, known female drivers. So you kind of had to feel for her a little bit. Race off pit road.
It was pretty competitive there.
Yeah, really close. Christopher Bouchard wins the race off pit road against Tony Pizarro, Rick Raybon, John Poole, Scott Brinson falls back. By the way, Matt Burkhart does stay out to lead a lap. Maybe why he may be planning on dropping back. So, what I want to do is actually bring in a driver, because I told you guys we'd get an interview, and I heard that guys wanted Chris Bouchard, so we'll bring him in. He's a friend of mine. I guess we can go ahead and call each other friends. I guess we're on that term. So, Phenomenal Evolution Racing. Here we go. Hey, Chris Bouchard, you got me?
Yes, I do.
Man, I was just talking about you. I know you from the stock car things. I've raced with you in the trucks and all that other stuff, and I know how good you are in them. You come over here, you're in the IndyCar right now, running 2nd place. Overall, you got to be somewhat satisfied.
I'm pretty happy. It's still early days, though, in this race. Still got 140 laps to go, so hopefully I can stay up front. I'm
curious, man, because we was talking about this in the broadcast a few moments ago. The tires was a big issue we got on the subject of. We have gone a couple of long runs now, about 20 laps or so here and there. And do the tires fall off much? Does the car get loose? Does it get tight on the long run? We was curious about that.
I don't think it's the tires giving up. It's just the aero tightness and maybe just a little front tire give. But really, it just later in those runs, the aero push with not fresh tires just makes it almost impossible to pass, or you're just waiting for someone to make a mistake. Like, I was right behind Walker when that last wreck happened with him, and I saw him go bottom, and he was right behind the leader following in his wake, and I knew the moment he started going back up the track, he's going in the wall right here.
Wow. Well, man, you've done good so far. You're looking good, and you still got that fast repair, which is always a good thing. You started 15th, now you're leading this thing, so good luck. We'll be up here watching you.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. We'll pull you back down once I got to go through 100,000 people. There we go. Pulled him back down. And so it's interesting because I got to give a shout out real fast to Chris Walker, by the way, who just wrecked. We've seen him get in the wall. Todd called it out. Todd, you want to talk about a break? As soon as he wrecks, there was another wreck that happened while he was coming down pit road, and he gets the caution. Now, granted, he is going to be really far behind these guys back in 27th, but that's kind of a break, I think, in a way.
Yeah, that's a huge break.
Yeah, I think it would be as well. Oh, there we go. That's a better look at his car. So we'll be watching him. He's going to have to try to make the track back up from the back again, which we've seen guys do. It's definitely capable of doing. See if the 87 has damage. Okay. Let me find him. Justin Michael, there he is. No, man, you look fine from this angle. Your wings good. Both wings look good. Pods looks good on the left side. I don't know about the right side. I don't know if I can see it now. It looks good on the right side as well. You look fine to me. That's one good thing about a broadcast, man. If you're watching the broadcast, you'd be like, hey, check and see if I have damage. You know? Like, you can use that to your advantage. Here we go. Double them back up. Christopher Bouchard. And I want to mention Jonathan Goke and Rick Rayvon, both back up to 3rd and 6th. Rayvon riding in 3rd right now.
Look for them guys to be coming up to the field, front of the field here, pretty quick.
Sam commented and said he didn't feel... Oh, I apologize, I was hit the wrong button. Sam commented and said that he didn't feel bad for J.R. Hildebrand because Dan Weldon actually won that race. And I can understand that.
Yep.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that. Let's see. Burl Begley, I hope I said your name right. I did a sim race in Papyrus 2001. Seems handling and grip is too sticky. Takes a lot to spin out. Drag control, etc. is questionable from what I'm seeing. Yeah, I mean, like when I'm just going by from what I told you, what me racing it from the Indy car. These cars tend, especially with the IR18 cars, the IndyCar 18. This is the 2018 Indy car. There is a ton of grip. Like, I will be straight up honest. In these cars, there is a ton of grip. Unless you're on older tires and it's super behind somebody, then there's a lot of aero push and stuff like that. And that's always been the biggest question for me, is aero push has always been the biggest thing for me. Because you really do push a ton in these cars when you're behind somebody. And these cars bounce around a lot. Have you actually tested here, Todd, in the Indy car?
Oh, yeah.
These things bounce around a ton.
Yeah, and sometimes the bouncing kind of catches me off guard, and
Yeah.
I sometimes get down below that white line as we go green again.
Yeah, we are going back green flag once again, but yeah, the bouncing here is absolutely horrible. So Tony Pizarro does fall in right in front of Rick Rayvon. Jonathan Goke actually trying to take the spot away. How about that? Goke takes 2 spots away on that restart. And John Poole actually getting pushed up out of the bottom line right now. Nate Seifker is a guy that's just been quiet. He's running 7th, and here we go for the lead. Pizarro and Rayvon both trying to take over 1st and 2nd. And how about that? Rayvon.
Here comes Rayvon.
Yeah, that was a great pass there. He's going to be able to take it. Will he be able to keep it is the question. We've seen what happens at the exit of turn 4. And will that run happen again? Here comes Pizarro. Will he lead the lap? We got somebody coming down pit road, by the way. Who is that? It looks like Chris Walker is coming down pit road. Wow, and Jonathan Goat, by the way, just went by both of them guys. Yeah, I think right now, man.
See that.
I think right now, if you're up front, like, I actually like where Nate Seifker is. I like where Scott Brinson is. Like, why race for the lead right now? You know what I mean? I guess if you want to lead the most laps, I mean, you know. But personally, I mean, there's nothing really to race for right now. You're just out here trying to log laps. This race is an endurance. It's not your normal race. It is an endurance race. Let's be honest.
Go back to the lead again.
Yep, there he goes. Takes it away. And Tony Pizarro is doing the same thing that Goke was doing to everybody else earlier, getting it out of turn 4. And that's what we've seen him do really well earlier, and he's doing it now. Pizarro is doing it to him. So these guys are going to be swapping back and forth quite a bit here, I would guess. As Christopher Bouchard and Scott Brinson look on. Nate Siefker has taken away 6th spot from John Poole as well. So we're single file coming off. What I want to do is I want to crank it up. So let's crank up the volume and get ready. All right, that was pretty cool. I like it cranked up thing. It's pretty neat. Up front, Jonathan Goat led that lap. Anything? Oh, I see a little bit of smoke there. I believe somebody blinked or something. I'm not a big fan of that, by the way. When somebody blinks out, like the smoke pops up, I'm not a fan of that. So we're reading some of the chat here as we stay green. Everybody's so good so far. Want to welcome, this is the first time I think we broadcasted on all 3 channels at once. We kind of got the idea yesterday in a podcast that we mentioned. I don't know, Sam, do we have a next date yet for the podcast? I don't think we really do we? We might be able to do it in a couple weeks, maybe. That was a fun podcast. Looking back through here. By the way, Chris Walker is officially 1 lap down at the moment. Yeah, Jonathan Goat doing exactly what we've seen him do last time. Kind of what Mazzaro, what we talked about, swapping back and forth. We're about 25, well, a little over 25 laps to go before we head to halfway. So right now we're on average to pick up about 43 lead changes if this stays the way it is. We may have another one right here. But once again, this is what we've kind of seen. So what I'm seeing is I think Pizarro actually needs to stay behind Goat all the way through turn 3 and then try to work on him. We'll see if he does it this time. You know, Goat going to pull out a line and Goat takes the lead. So I think that's what happens. I think you actually need to stay behind the leader until out of turn 4 and then pull out a line. That's one thing. Actually, it gave Pizarro that lap. But one thing that is one thing we've noticed. Oh, wreck it happened behind him. There we go. It is Kyran Bergelli making hard contact into the wall. And he is he going to be out of the night's race? He is sitting there on the apron.
No caution yet.
No caution yet. Will he pull back up? Oh, he does tow. Who did he get in contact with? Oh, it was Dan Neese making contact. And then across the, oh boy, hard contact in the wall. So that is going to put an end to his run of what many thought could be an Indianapolis 500. Now, it ain't over. He is going to go a few laps down, though, I would expect at least, because he had to tow a long ways. And for people that might be new to iRacing, caution does not usually come out as long as there is no car facing backwards on the track. If you're on the apron, It's okay, because you're off the racing surface. What I'm curious is whenever the new damage model comes into play, and I don't know, Todd, if you've thought about it, but will there be a caution if somebody hits the wall, period, and there's debris on the track? Because that debris does hurt cars. You would think so. Yeah, I agree. I think you would have to.
I see one little thing. One little thing is definitely going to bring out the caution when that new damage model comes.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it kind of has to, because I was racing Skip Barber cars, and Skip Barber open wheel car, kind of like this, a lot slower by all means. So, but somebody's tire came off, and it was sitting in the middle of the track, and I hit the tire, and I died when I hit it. Like literally, it crushed the whole front of my car, and I was just like, oh. So I'm
First
curious.
of all, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's neat. Have you done it yet?
I've never jumped into one of them.
They are fun. They are by far, and I'm an oval guy. You know this. That is the best car right now on the service, hands down. Just because the damage model is so cool. Like honestly, like I hit the rumble strip, and I hit it too hard. I actually angled my car wrong going into one of the corners. It was a road race, and I hit the rumble strip wrong. It was more like a curve that I hit. And literally my whole wing, basically half my wing fell off onto the track. It was really neat. Just from hitting the curve super hard. I mean, I hit it hard.
Wow.
But yeah, it fell off onto the track, and it was really neat. And then somebody ran into the back of me on one of the practices, and my wing fell off. Their entire front wing fell off, and then somebody hit their front wing, and it tore their wing off. It was neat. Like, it was really cool. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. If you're on iRacing and haven't checked it out, check it out. It's one of the coolest things that they've added. I remember, I started iRacing 3 years ago, almost 4 years coming in December or November. Compared to where I started and what iRacing is now, they have made some of the biggest gains out of any racing game I've seen. And this has been around a while.
One thing I've noticed in the 1 year, because it's been just 1 year yesterday, I've noticed since I've been on iRacing, right. It has changed a lot in that 1 year. Yeah,
day-night transition came in. That was really big for iRacing. I thought that was one of the coolest things. And, I was on my break when day-night transition came in. I wasn't racing. I wasn't broadcasting when it first came in, I don't think. And Jonathan Goat may have just disconnected.
Yep. Nope, back.
Where's he at now?
Oh, just hit the wall.
Yeah, I think Jonathan Goat's in trouble. And he is slow on pace. Yeah, he's in the wall. His race is done.
Yep.
I don't know what happened. He blinked out. He's coming down. He's going to have to get that repaired. It's not done. And I don't think he has a fast repair.
No, I think he used it in that
I
crash
think he did too. With Rayvon, right? Let me see.
Speaking of Rayvon, he's running second right now. Or still. Oh. Pizarro going to the lead. I thought he was running second.
Now, one thing is these guys don't. Everybody in the field needs to take note. Jonathan goes on pit road. Do not wreck. You want to put this guy laps down. Now, I'm watching him to make sure that. Okay, so he is on pit road. He's got to get this. Yeah, he's out of the car. So he's going to be there for a while. That's at least 2 or 3 laps down. And that's a lot at Indianapolis. And I got to go over just to read the YouTube chat. Yeah. Eventually rain damage, somebody said. Or rain probably. New damage model with debris field is going to be a game changer. Yeah, I agree. And then Jeff Webker said they are planning on adding rain, which I heard the same thing. And I think that's going to be unique. Especially in the road racing side of things, like the GTE cars and the F1 cars. That's going to be fun. I'm just curious how bad it's going to kill everybody's CPU and graphics cards, man. That's a lot. Like, that's a lot of strain on them,
Yeah. Well, that's got me curious as to what's going to happen in the whole NASCAR thing.
Exactly. Like, what if it rains at NASCAR?
Are we going to actually have rain delays, like, in real life?
I'm going to be honest. I don't want to sit there on a rain delay for 2 hours.
No.
Like, I mean, that's weird. That's strange. I mean, if you're running realistic weather, it has to be an option, So,
or at least have a time lapse or something on it to where you can You know,
Yeah,
that way, like you
true.
said, you're not sitting there for 2 hours.
Even if it's like a 20-minute time lapse.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm wondering, is there an option if they bring rain in? And I know we're talking about a lot of different things right now besides what's really going on the racetrack right now, and I apologize, just everybody's kind of spaced out a little bit. If they do bring a rain option in, on guys that have, like, not that great graphics cards, I got a 1070 Ti, which is pretty solid. But if they don't have a great graphics card, can you turn the rain option off, but the track still be wet? You would think that would be a thing. Justin Michael, by the way, taking over 10.
Yeah, just like me. I've got the 560i in mine right now.
Yeah.
I'm in that category.
So I'm wondering exactly, can you make the option of turning the rain off, but you know you can still see the track getting wet? And I was just waiting on more people to comment on, you know, that. Yeah, I mean, from what I've honestly, now I can't, you know, somebody commented about the Indy cars a few moments ago that says that it looks like these cars have a lot of grip. Now, I've raced these cars. I don't know what a real Indy car feels like. I don't think any of us do. I mean, we're not going to get to go out and drive them. Let's be real. Most of us ain't. But I can tell you right now that Sage Karam, the IndyCar driver, races these. And this is a question on Facebook somebody mentioned, by the way, for the guys that's on YouTube. Sage Karam, and I mean, he's talked about it. These cars do help for him. And everybody knows who Sage is if you watch IndyCar. And I'm sure other guys know Sage more than me. I don't know him like that, but I'm sure guys have talked to him about it. But I've seen IndyCar drivers say that iRacing is a lot more realistic than what people think. So I don't know. I can tell you, I have talked to Ron Capps, the drag racer.
It's a video game.
Yeah, exactly, and it's not. Ron Capps, the NHRA driver, Top Fuel, or not Top Fuel. He races the NHRA funny cars, and great funny car driver. And he races iRacing, and races a lot of NASCAR stuff. Races IndyCar. He's talked about iRacing because he's done like. He was curious about other types of motorsports, and he said that it feels like when he's in the car. We got a car slow, by the way. One car around. Paul Crumright is around here on the apron right now. Let's see. He's going to get turned back around. There is wing damage. Let's look. He's still sitting there. He's going to have to turn it back around again. This is definitely going to slow him down, as he is going to be on the access road, so there's not going to be a caution. But was there contact? He actually went. There was no contact, I don't think. He pushed up. Yeah, that's just aero push. So that's what we're seeing. Cars are getting aero tight on long runs. And we talked a little bit about it. And here he is slow on the track. He is aiming for pit road. So Paul Crumright has not used his fast repair, I don't think, is coming down pit road this time. And luckily, he's able to get there. Now, he's going to go a lap down. But luckily, he is going to be able to get there. And I want to mention Jonathan Goke. Jonathan Goke is out of the race. I want to go ahead and mention that now. So, I'm sure a lot of guys in here just took a big sigh of relief because everybody knows what Goke was doing. And guys like Rick Ravon, you gotta think that he knows the relief, because right now that's kind of Ravon's biggest competition, is he is starting to extend the lead a little bit here out to 5/10. But yeah, I was talking about Ron Capps. He said that he was really interested in the oval stuff, and iRacing was the closest thing he could go to race it, even though he races drag cars in real life. What is one car that you guys in the chat want to see as we go back here to Justin Michael, by the way, working on Dan Nees. Michael looking to the inside. He's starting to work his way back up, by the way. He takes over the 8th spot. What is one car that you guys want to see, and Todd, I can ask you the same question, that you want to see come on to iRacing? Now, I don't know if Todd's there. He may have stepped away for a minute.
I'm here. What's your question, buddy?
What is one car that you want to see come on to iRacing that is not here? Is there a certain car? We got green flag pit stops happening, Ravon on pit road. But is there a certain car that you want to see come to iRacing?
Wow, that is a great question. Off the top of my head, I don't I don't think so. But
There's two things I want.
I mean,
I want to see carts. I want to see shifter carts come to iRacing. I think that's really cool. I know they got that new sim racing game out for shifter carts, but I want to see that come to iRacing. I want to see shifter carts. And I want to see, and a lot of people are up and down about this, I want to see drag racing come to it. I'm a big fan of drag racing. I was raised up in drag racing. I want to see it come to drag racing. I know more about drag racing than I know more about NASCAR than drag racing now, but I was brought up in drag racing world. I want to see something like that. By the way, Michael Jean's on pit road, so green flag stops are happening. So think about that question, Todd. If there's a car, and come back to it, if you think of one, you know.
I mean, yeah, drag racing. That's the only thing that's coming to my mind right now.
Yeah, I think that would be unique. But I mean, it would be a lot of programming and stuff to get it set up. But there ain't no really drag racing games out there really. There used to be one. It was pretty good, but I can't remember what it was. Let's see.
Maybe the buggies, Pro Light buggies, actually, that races with the Pro Light trucks.
Yeah, that's true. The Pro Light 2s was really fun. The light trucks, the ones that we did, they was really fun. The ones that they just added, I can't remember the name of them. They was really fun. By the way, Nate Siefker is working his way up through the field. This is a guy that a lot of people talked about yesterday. We talked to him, actually. Here they come down pit road. Scott Brinson, Nate, both coming down to pit road as well. It looks like Justin Michael, I thought Justin was coming down. He did not. Who else is that? Scott Brinson coming down pit road. So Tony Pizarro is staying out. Christopher Bouchard staying out. John Poole now takes over the lead. So we're only seeing 30 laps on a full tank of gas. So we're still, let me think here. I'm trying to average this up right now. This could come down to a fuel mileage race. Maybe. I don't like saying that at IndyCar because I don't want to see an IndyCar or Indy 500 go to fuel mileage. But now we're in that stage of the race where it's just long green flag runs. This is exactly what it is. This is the part of the race that I like because the cars are spaced out. Now you have to actually drive the car to try to figure out how to make up a lot of time on the cars in front of you. And that's the best way to do it. You can mess up on pit road. And, you don't want to have that happen. But you don't want to spend too much time there by any means. So that's one thing. You've got to make sure you don't want to speed on pit road because you don't want to get a 15-second hold penalty. So, yeah. All right. Sorry, I was over here reading some messages. So, yeah, green flag pit stops are underway. Marcus Hagman, Tyler Lugo, Vickery. Haven't spoke a lot about him or Tanner Coster. Or, I'm probably saying that name wrong. But Tanner's a really good driver, by the way. Johnny Antonucci on pit road.
Leader heading to pit road.
Yep, leader is coming down. And it looks like Christopher Bouchard going to follow him. Yep, here he comes. John Poole. Let's see if Poole comes down. John Poole did come down pit road as well. So they, actually, Ernie Ludwig's staying out right now. And I want to go ahead and, I would like to go ahead and say what the fast lap times are compared to where we are now. But I know it ain't really going to make that big of a difference because of draft. But Ernie just ran a 41.790. That's actually not much of a fall off compared to what we've seen them running in draft. Fastest lap for him is a 40.4. So the tires are pushing quite a bit, but the lap time's not really falling off as much. So all this is going to cycle back over to Raygun. We already know that. And now we're going to see a ton of lead changes, by the way. I just want to go ahead and mention that. We're at 24 right now, about to be 25 here in just a moment. as we see Ernie Ludwig. Let's see if he comes down pit road. He is on pit road. So there's a new leader right there. And then all this is going to switch over to Rick Ravon right there. And there you see him coming down across the yard of bricks. And through turns 1 and 2, Ravon taking back the lead. And second place is going to be Tony Pizarro, who actually is still in the running right now. When Rick Ravon pitted, he was actually 6/10 ahead of Tony Pizarro. Pizarro has closed that gap back up to under 2/10. So right now it's just these two guys leading the field by 3 seconds over Scott Brinson and Nate Siefker, who's back here. So right now we're seeing the two guys that is really we're watching. And then Ravon got a little bit of draft here. I believe that's William Hull, I believe. Yes, it is William Hull right there in front of the leaders, who does go 1 lap down, unfortunately. At the moment, William Hull, Johnny Antonucci, Ethan Legal, Paul Crumrod 1 lap down, Kerry Cleaver, Bobby O'Neill is on pit road now in the 77. I actually don't know much about Bobby O'Neill. I haven't spoke a lot about him, so I'm not very familiar. I believe he's another one of the drivers, like a one-off race for him. You are correct. We are getting a long run. That is a first green flag pit stop that we've had all night. And that's one of the things, man, I think we all kind of anticipated it. The last time we raced here, we had 10 cautions last year. And, you know, that's probably quite a bit for Indianapolis, I think. I think everybody knows that. Right now we're at 5, and I'm not, hopefully not jinxing nothing, but they have done a pretty solid job of... and we started this race with 2 more drivers compared to last season. We actually started with 34 instead of 32. I'm sitting here looking at last year's race. Byron Rodney was in that race, who's in the YouTube chat, and I think he's still in the Facebook chat. 23, or he finished 23rd in that race. Byron probably wasn't too happy. He completed 171 laps. I believe there was a big wreck during that time, I believe. I think there was a big wreck that took a lot of guys out. Sam Cooper Bennett, did he run that race? I don't know if he actually ran that race. I don't think he did. He didn't. So, at the moment, we're going to have a new leader, or a new winner this year, compared to the last race that we had. We stay green, here from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A look at your top 10. You are watching the Top Fuel Racing IndyCar.
Big battle for the lead.
Oh, big battle for the lead. We're going to take a break, but we're going to jump up there. There we go. And I'm wondering, real fast, Todd, do you think that, I know Tony Pizarro just got around him, do you think it's possible Rick could actually let him go to maybe save some gas? Because he's got to be burning fuel mileage like crazy right now. I mean, use a draft, you would think. You know, it's definitely going to save. So I'm just wondering if there was a possibility maybe Rick and Maya didn't want to put up too much of a fight against him.
Very possible.
That's right. Sam was actually going to the Indy 500. That is correct. I forgot. He was actually going to the real Indianapolis 500. That's why he wasn't in that race. Sam's first trip to America, I believe. Did you know that? Did you know Sam was not from America? He is from...
yeah, I could tell.
I figured you could. He is from... oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Ireland? Is that correct, Sam? Was it Ireland? Where the leprechauns run? But, yeah. Sam, you need to come back to America. I know he had a fun time. He even went to Dollywood, which is actually like an hour from me, an hour and a half. Went to Dollywood, done all kinds of stuff. I want to visit Ireland, though. I think that'd be a fun place.
So, do you actually think that maybe Ravon would let Pizarro go ahead of him to maybe save fuel?
I mean, I think you got to, because looking at his laps, okay, he's been out there now for 13 laps on this run. We could go about 30. If you're in draft, you could go 30. we've seen Ludwig go 33, by the way. Rayvon actually pitted on lap 28 last time. He went 28 laps, and he was out front a lot of that run. So there was like 6 laps difference. And I think that's why. I think he drops back behind this for a reason, behind Pizarro. Pizarro's going to have to pit early right now. Actually, I say right now him and Rayvon have to pit around the same time. So it's interesting. But, yeah, I think 100%. I think a lot of it's got to do with draft. I don't think it... I don't think Pizarro's faster than Rayvon. I don't think Rayvon's faster than Pizarro. I think a lot of it right now is saving fuel mileage. I mean, he's 4/10 off right now, but he's still using the draft and helping him. So yeah, I really think a lot of it is that. Oh, Sam is originally from the UK, but he currently resides in Ireland. Lucky land, Jeff Walker said. Yeah, Ireland's a place I want to go like really bad there, and I want to go to Iceland. I think Iceland would be really cool. And I've always wanted to visit Alaska.
I want to go to Greece.
You want to go to Greece? See, that'd be a fun place to see. Like to see the oh my gosh, what is it they got there? It's like real famous. I don't know. I don't know what I'm thinking of. I may be lying. I gotta look it up. There's like something big in Greece that is like really famous. I don't know. Although it's like the Athens and stuff like that is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the mythical stuff is there and all that stuff. Yeah, that's pretty neat. That would be a pretty cool place, and it's not far from like Italy. I saw a guy from Ireland won the British Open. I think I seen something about that too. So right now, guys, we're just stretched out. Typical Indianapolis 500, but this is the part of the race I actually enjoy because we're seeing like guys like Ernie Ludwig running down Tyler Vickery. This is the part of Indianapolis I keep mentioning that is really my favorite part. Because it makes it tough. You've got to actually drive the car now to figure out how to make up the time to get up to that next car's draft and get around them. Oh, wait. We got somebody slow. Caution flag is out. Matt Burkhart flips around. Oh, yep. Into the wall in turn 1. And barrel rolls about 50,000 times. And right there's your caution flag. Man, he just killed that wall.
So now what do you do, Adam, if you're one of the top 3 guys
I mean, you got to pit.
just pitted a little while ago?
Yeah, I think you still got to pit. Just because, and the reason why I'm saying that, they have 12 laps on the tires. I think wheel spin's still a factor, even with 12 laps on your tires. But I think with this pit stop, it's going to be interesting because if we have green flag runs like we're going to see now, this puts you in the idea of after the stop it's just a 2-stop race instead of a 3-stop race.
Yep.
So, because if we pit here, you can at least go to like 1/3 or like 140. I believe you'd be able to make it to, give or take. And if they're 170, and we know you can make it 30 laps, 170 to 200, keep in mind, of course, that personally, I wouldn't want to be the leader. Not right now. I think that would be the worst spot to be in. If we have a caution, say, after 170, or if everybody has to pit at least, I think you're in good shape. But, right now, I mean, I wouldn't want to be the leader right now. That's just my opinion. Because you're going to burn a lot more gas. Right now, if you're the leader, and say we stay green once we do go back green here, if we stay green the rest of the way, you're not going to come, you're going to run out at the end of this race if you're the leader. There's no way you can make it the rest of the way when everybody else, somebody out there is going to try to stretch it and make it the rest of the way. Of course, that is if we don't have another caution. Yeah, there is definitely a chance of that as Rayvon does win the race off pit road. So, by the way, 27 lead changes. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was always fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos or danger until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all will be kept in the pits. Not to mention that with members in over 130 countries already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series and work your way up to one of 7 world championships, offering over $500,000 in prize money. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Mission 22 is dedicated to unite the country in the war against veteran suicide. Bringing our veterans home is every American's job. Ambassadors are creating impact in their community across the country. Mission 22 has comprehensive treatment programs for post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury at no cost to veterans. This is an American issue. No matter where you stand, there's a place for your support. Visit mission22.com to learn more.
Green flag. Everybody. Going to be a wreck behind you. Going to be a wreck behind you. So I don't know what to do. Somebody put oil down. We're hurting the fence. Are they flagging it? Flag. White flag. Clear. Click. Man, this is it. Check a flag.
Welcome back Top Fuel presents the 4th annual Top Fuel Racing Indy 500, sponsored or broadcasted by Esports Broadcasting Network. Adam Chapman with you with Todd Chase Jr., the greatest racing name ever made known to man. With me at the booth, it is Rick Ravon show along with Tony Pizarro. Them two guys have been putting on a great show up front as a lot of cars being taken out. Working the caution number 6, pace car pulls in. We are past halfway. And Todd, I want to go ahead and ask you, as the green flag does wave, what are you seeing? Do you still like your picks right now? You picked Rick Ravon, and or did you pick? Yeah, you picked Rick Ravon.
I am very confident in my selection.
Yeah, I think you got to be pretty happy with it, as we see Rick gonna give up the lead right there. And so I kind of mentioned a little bit, we was talking about this in the break, as we got a battle for second right now, 3 wide down the backstretch. Here comes Nate Siefker. He's going to take over second place, maybe over Rick Ravon. It's been curious. We was talking about riding behind the draft and what we want to do. We was talking about that during the commercial break. So far, the race hasn't been bad by any means. It's been Indianapolis, 28 lead changes, and 90 laps remain, or 89 laps remain now. Yeah, there we go. And it's been a great race for the most part. As who was that? John Poole, by the way. Where did he come from? Jumps up to third. And that was my pick to win it. Was John Poole. I mentioned that yesterday. And he might not, but, you know, I'm proud of how he's doing. So, and I don't have favorites in the league whatsoever. I guess I pull for Sam a little bit when he's racing just because he's the owner of ESBN. But I don't have favorites when it comes to these broadcasts, for the most part anyway. But I'm anxious to see that winner's interview. That's one thing.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see some. We had a great reaction the other night as Christopher Bouchard, not sure why, but he is coming down pit road. May have been a penalty on the driver of the 28. We'll have to keep an eye on him. But, yeah, we had a great interview the other night during a broadcast for the Asylum Racing League on Monday. And Joe Morgani won that race. Great interview. And the start of it was kind of funny. He showed emotion. He actually cried, by the way, coming into turn 3. He cried because he knew he was going to win the race. And that's the emotion I like seeing. He cried on his stream, which was pretty awesome. Goes to show you some of this stuff does mean a lot to guys, and that's awesome to see.
Safer. Couldn't complete the pass.
Could not. Falls back in line in third. John Poole. Oh, I thought Dan Nee's got the wall. Here comes Siefker once again. Caution flag. Timothy Bates is around in turns 1 and 2. Do I hear somebody else? Yeah, Ethan Liegel as well was involved in this one. There you go. Boom and boom. Oh, hard wreck for Timothy Bates. And Ethan Liegel. Right there's Ethan. And does Ethan flip back over? And does Timothy Bates, let's see, make sure both these guys, so Liegel is able to drive off as well as Timothy Bates. I think both of them guys might have fast repairs left. Timothy Bates is a great driver, by the way. That's why we played the Mission 22 commercial. He actually sponsored a race this year with Mission 22. His brother, unfortunately, suicide was in the military and all that stuff. And great guy, though. Let's see. Looking at the schedule, by the way, I haven't even mentioned the schedule for these guys the rest of the season right now. We are on the Indianapolis 500. We do have an off week next week, which I might add I am so thankful for, because I don't broadcast Tuesday or Wednesday next week. I'm just going to lay there. I ain't going to move. Unless Todd makes me broadcast the Disabled Drivers League, which is fine. But anyway.
Yeah. I actually picked up a win last night in that.
Yeah, I think I actually am going to broadcast it, because I told Tim I would broadcast a couple more races for him, and I think I'm still going to. And so I think I will be back broadcasting that with him for Tuesday for next week.
We need drivers.
Yeah, so if you're
anybody out there
looking,
that's interested.
Yeah, check out Disabled. Todd, you know the name better than I do.
Disabled Drivers League.
Presented by Heartbeat Network. It is on Facebook as drivers come down pit road. And by the way, Ravon's staying out.
Yeah. I don't know if I like that call.
I don't like that call either, personally, because I think, yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I think you had to pit there. I mean, it's not going to hurt him as far as tires go. Marcus Hagman staying out. A couple others staying out as well. And we'll get to see who all that is here in just a second. Kevin O'Brien stays out, which Kevin will probably come down, I would guess. But, yeah, I'm not a big fan of staying out. But, yeah, Disabled Drivers League presented by the Heartbeat Network. We don't broadcast them a ton. The races are extremely short, only 25 laps for most races. These guys need drivers severely bad. So if you're, it's just something to do. The races don't take long, but it means a lot to Tim Connelly, who he is disabled. I forgot what disability he has off the top of my head. Do you know what it was? You told me, but I don't know if you remember.
I believe it's cerebral palsy.
Cerebral palsy. I don't know how to pronounce it either. I'm not good at saying it.
Yeah.
But I believe that's it. But I believe that's what it was. But he's got that. But he's a very nice guy. And there is some guys that constantly come in there and race, but there ain't many. And they run the cup cars. And the races are very quick. And they're green for the most part. They don't have many cautions. I mean, there ain't many people to race in it. So they look for drivers. It runs on Tuesdays. It starts like around 7-ish. I could be wrong. 7:30, something like that.
Last night we had 4 of us, and we had no cautions, and I think Tim accidentally set the server up wrong.
Right.
Because when I joined in at like 7:37, they were actually in qualifying.
Yeah, I've noticed that a couple times. He's actually had the server set weird a couple times, I've noticed. So if you are interested, check them out, and please try to join if you can. It'll help him out. It means a lot to him. And the people that they do have a sponsor for it, the Heartbeat Network, and they're great ladies. I think Sam, you know who they are. They've commented on our videos. They love our broadcast here at ESPN. They're a big supporter of ESPN, and so check them out at least. And they got a Facebook that you can contact and try to join. But yeah, we'll be back with them next Tuesday. But yeah, these guys are actually off next Wednesday, and then they head over to Las Vegas. One of my favorite tracks at Las Vegas. But then we go to the fun place. October the 16th, we head to Watkins Glen International Raceway. And that's going to be fun. And then, I want to skip ahead a few races, but October 30th, I'm hoping I'm going to be home that night. Because I was supposed to be taking my kids trick-or-treating, but I can't remember if it's that night or if Halloween is actually, trick-or-treating is actually on Halloween this year. I don't know. It's always stupid. So, anyway, we'll be, you know what I'm talking about. It's weird.
Yeah. Another league that I would just, if you don't mind me plugging in here. I'm going to be starting here in, I think it's October 10th, starting a street stock league. So if anybody else is interested in that, I do have a page up on Facebook. It's called the Strictly Street Stock Series. And
that's going to be fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. The races are going to only be, I think the most
50 laps?
30 to 50 laps or something like that is what I got it set at. I believe
street stocks.
Yeah, me too. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah, they are.
Although I think the first race is going to be at Rocky.
Yeah, who cares? It's a fun place. I like the street stocks, man, because the back end slide a lot. I like cars that the back end slides a lot. Because to me, it just makes you go faster. And the street stocks, everybody started with street stocks on ours. So that's what I like about them. It's just, one of them cars, it's just fun to drive. Oh, here we go, doubling back up. Mr. Rick Ravon. I should have actually grabbed the interview right there too, but we was talking about the leagues and stuff like that. I like getting them plugged out there and stuff.
Right.
Byron called me a brown nose. Maybe a little, I'm not gonna lie. I pull for any of the ESPN drivers though if they're racing. Like I just want them to win. Let's see. Byron did say, by the way, I told you he traveled the U.S. As it is, so that's enough. So the furthest I've been in the United States, I've lived in Illinois. I haven't been out west. I haven't been nowhere real far. I mean, I've been in Middle Tennessee and West Tennessee, but I haven't been like really out west. Todd's from Michigan, so
Yep.
have you been anywhere else? I know we're sitting here talking about different things besides the race right now, but you know they're under caution.
Little embarrassing. The farthest I've been out of Michigan is to Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. That is the farthest
Okay.
I've ever gone.
Ohio's a nice place though. It's not bad. I went through there when we was going to Illinois. We drove through there because we got lost. We wasn't actually that far from Cincinnati. Don't
I
ask
think
how.
it's pretty easy for you
Yeah,
to get
it
lost.
is. Yeah, I get lost easily. But it's funny because now I can drive to Illinois and back with no problem, no GPS or nothing, just because I've been there, you know, so many times. I used to drive up there a lot and back here because family. So, pace car pulls in, and the green flag is about to wave. And I got a funny story here in a minute, by the way. Green flag waves here once again. Indianapolis 500 underway. Rick Raybarn, Marcus Hagman. Let's see if this strategy pays off. It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it pays off as Rick Raybarn works into turn one. You know, I'm curious about something, though, with him staying out. Does he think this could be another short, another short run?
It's possible.
Yeah. Because he should be faster than some of these other guys. Okay, I say that. Here comes Hagman.
Yeah.
And everybody else. I'm curious about that, too. He's got to think that it could be another short little run here, maybe 10 or so laps. And if that's the case, then the strategy's perfect for him. But like I said, man, if we stay green, he's the one that's going to be in trouble right now because he's going to have to pit at least 2 more times. Or at least 3 more times. I apologize. I think. I don't know. My mind's all over the place right now. Here is, who was that? Nate Seifert on the apron. And how in the world? Yeah, that's Nate for you. What can I say? The kid can drive. How about that? Let's see what happened. I think you got too much of the rumble strip. May actually touch the grass a little bit. Working through turn 2. Oh, he did touch some of the grass. Almost lost it. That's a great job. That's great car control for an Indy car. That's not easy to do. So, Rick Rayburn out front now, able to lead that lap. And that is now 39 laps for him led. 30 lead changes. We're definitely going to break our record, I think. 30 lead changes. As we worked on a backstretch here.
I think we already have. Didn't you say it was like
38.
38?
38's the record, and right now we're at 30.
Gonna be 40 now.
No, still at 30. They got to cross the line before it counts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, we've actually had probably like 200 lead changes. But it does not become official, I guess, until we cross the line. And by the way, that does not change. Is Rick Rayburn able to edge out Justin Michael? This is another battle a lot of people was talking about. We talked about it in the podcast. These two guys, Justin Michael is a wheel man. He knows how to drive an Indy car. And there's a reason why. The stats might not show it. Let's see, where was it? Yeah, like he does not have a win this season. But if you go look at the laps led, and we got a big wreck.
Trouble back there.
Jeff Hollingsworth, more involved. Not even idea who else is in this. Kevin O'Brien, Chris Walker is involved. There's Chris Walker getting flown through the air. This right here, Jeff Hollingsworth, who is out of the race now. There's Chris Walker. There's Kevin O'Brien, who does have a quick repair. Kevin does. Everybody else, I think Roel Alvarez was involved. Yeah, Roel Alvarez, unfortunately, going to probably end his not as well. So the caution comes out. And I was reading the chat. And that's a pretty bad wreck. But I was reading the chat. What was it? All the Midwest states are pretty boring. I can see that, though. Nate is from Ohio. Byron said he has been to every 48 state or lower 48 states. Wow. Where's the most boring place you've driven, Byron? West Texas, he says. Really? You know, I had a friend from West Texas. He said like he literally had to drive like 30 minutes to get to the store.
See, I wouldn't like that.
that sounds. His internet was so bad because we used to play PlayStation. That's what I met him on, and good guy. Him and his girlfriend, great people. Like I became really good friends with them. But they had to drive so far to the store, and I asked him. I said, "How is it?" He said it was like a desert kind of. I was like, "Really?" So it's kind of interesting. Marcus Hagman stays out. Rick Ravon stays out. By the way, that strategy does actually work out for Ravon. It does not hurt him, so.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that.
Yeah, it's a great call, I think. But a couple of guys did stay out there. This one, Nate Siefker stays out, and Marcus Hagman stays out. I think everybody else pitted. We do got one car right there with no nose. Chris Walker, who's got to come back in. But here we go. Iowa stands for out wondering. All those Midwest states are pretty boring. Nebraska. Best states would be Virginia's, Colorado. You see, where I live, because I'm in Tennessee, Bristol, Tennessee, I am right on the border of Virginia. Literally, Bristol, Virginia is 4 minutes down the road. Kentucky's really close. It takes me about 45 minutes to get to Kentucky. Maybe quicker, maybe a little bit sooner, about 35 minutes. North Carolina, about 35 minutes. So I am right on the edge. Illinois is a very boring state, by the way. Only thing I like about Illinois is I'm a big bass fisherman. I absolutely love bass fishing in Illinois. And I really want to deer hunt in southern Illinois, like really bad, because they got gigantic deer up there that would eat a baby. But
Big.
yeah, they're monster deer. In Illinois, Michigan has some big deer too. You know all about that. Thanks to your
Southern
pictures.
Michigan, yeah.
You still hurt my feelings by showing me pictures compared to what you got, what I got. Lived in Kingsport for a year. Really? Huh. Michael, you did not live far from me. I live right now. I'm literally 5 minutes from Bristol Motor Speedway, where I'm at. Kingsport. I live right on 11W. Kingsport is literally back behind me, probably about 8 or 9 minutes. I hate Kingsport though. Hate Kingsport. Most beautiful place is southern Utah in the Four Corners area. I bet Utah is nice. I wouldn't mind going to Colorado. I think that'd be a nice place. Great hunting there, by the way. We're just talking about random stuff. Canada would be a nice place to visit too, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that would be good. Northern Wisconsin. Yeah, Wisconsin has some really big deer. I did not think about that. There's a lot of big deer in Texas, too. They got like the mule deer down there. I think it's the mule deer, correct? Is that what I'm thinking of in Texas? I don't know. But they got a really big deer down there, too. I know they got big whitetails, but Tennessee, for some reason, just don't have real big deer. Not where I'm at, anyway. Like, we don't get the real monster bucks here.
I'd like to go to Minnesota and see what it's like out there.
Yeah, but that's nice. Thousand Lakes.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. I like places like I'm not a big city type guy. Like I don't like the big city or nothing like that. I've been to Chicago, wasn't a fan. I freaking hate Canada and their stupid airports. Are they a lot more strict? Like they ain't as strict as America. There's no way. You wouldn't think. I don't know, Todd. You're not too far from Canada, are you?
No.
Not really?
No, not too far. Maybe a couple hours away.
He said especially Toronto. Let's see, what's Facebook saying right now? Anyway. Are we doubling back up yet? We are. Adam, you and Todd do an awesome job. Had it play in the background while racing. Thank you, man. I do appreciate it. We've been kind of talking a lot about... Now, I was wondering how he wrecked. So, Matt Burkhart, for anybody wondering, it's on YouTube. after he decided to flip about 50,000 times, he had an equipment failure and his screen went back black. That explains why it turned dead left. So that explains a lot. But Matt, man, I've always respected you. Good, and sorry for your luck tonight. And I've seen Matt race plenty of times and watched him, but I do appreciate it. We're just in here talking about a bunch of random stuff right now during the caution breaks. We're talking to some guys on YouTube, Sam's over there, and all that stuff. But I do appreciate it, man. And I am sorry for your luck tonight. It's been a weird race. Come to Arizona for elk. See, Arizona. See, I don't know a lot about Arizona. Like, you always hear about, you know, like I'm thinking Nevada. But you always hear about the other states around Arizona. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't hear a lot about Arizona.
Yeah, one thing I hear is that it's always hot
Yeah.
in Arizona.
Yeah. That's the main thing. But see, they got to have some big animals, though, out there, you would think, because there's got to be food out there constantly.
Right.
I mean, and I believe there's a lot of mountains, too, if I'm not mistaken, out in Arizona. Like, I'm like 99% sure that place is loaded with mountains.
Well, here we go.
Here we
Field
go.
start.
Nate Siefker now, Marcus Hagman up on the front row. Let's see if this changes anything. Green flag, back out in the air. Racing here once again. We're on lap 126. 3 wide going down into turn 1. Who's it going to be? It does look like that. Oop. Marcus Hagman going to take the lead. Here comes Rayvon right on the bumper. Oh, Rayvon really close on the exit. Rayvon can't really do much right now. He's got to be careful, almost getting into the side of... Who is that? I cannot tell. Who is that down there? Oh, there they go! Big wreck, and Marcus Hagman into the wall. Caution flag happens. Did anybody else get involved? I think Hagman still got that quick repair. I hope.
I think he's good. I didn't see anybody running into him, so I think it was just himself.
I think there might have been a little bit of net code in this one. Let's see, 87, Justin Michael. Oh, wait a minute. Was there contact between him and the 87? Justin Michael on the inside. And that was identical what looked like between Rick Rayvon and Jonathan Goke earlier. And look at that dang dog. He is dog tracking like crazy right now.
Yep.
Wow. And I think, I want to make sure we're not going to cut away. By the way, great time. And if we stay green right now from here on out, this is going to be a field mileage race. I just want to point that out. Because we're on lap 128. These guys are going to pit on 129. There's going to be a lot of cars 1 lap short if we stay green.
Yep.
So, just saying. So, let's see if Hagman actually got the quick repair. I'm watching him right now come down pit road. Man, that thing's dog track. How is that car even moving? I'm just going to say this right now. In real life, that car would not be drivable. Not as hard as he hit.
It would be in like a million pieces.
Yeah, it would definitely be what's left of it would be on the hook. And I'm seeing him sit here. He's done.
Tough
no
break.
Quick repair, yep. Oh man, that's horrible. I'm double checking, but it looks like definitely looks like he's done for. That's horrible, man. He's fast too. So pit road was open, and here's what's interesting. Nobody came down. Not really. Justin Michael may have only been the one smart one that did. There's a couple others that did. Justin Michael, Ernie Ludwig. So a couple cars did come down. I don't know why you wouldn't pit there, honestly.
Right.
Because, you know, I feel like you're short on field right now. Like we said earlier, you can only go 30 laps. We did see someone make 33. But say if we run this out, that's 30, 60, and then 90. Well, even right now, you're still 10 laps short, no matter what. So.
And if you pit with 10 to go, that's pretty much ruining your race right there.
Yeah, I think right now, I think everybody's still got to pit 2 times, even the guys that just pitted.
Only way that would work out is if by some chance we get a caution with like 10 to go.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you're some of these guys, like, this is going to mix this up. This is going to be kind of weird because if we still go green, a lot of these guys have 5 laps. Nate has 13, by the way, so he's going to have to pit a lot earlier if we stay green. Trying to add this up. They're going to have to, right now, pit 5 laps shorter than what they would. Right now, they're pitting on like around lap 155. 154, 153, maybe 156, give or take like that a little bit. And then from there, say 155, you're pitting again on lap 185. From there, you can make it. Wait, no. Yeah. Okay, so it's still a 2-stop race no matter what. But I still feel like it's, like right now, I feel like there's definitely some field mileage that could be played to win this thing. Yep, and it was. Marcus Hagman is out. Man, that's bad. He was running good, too.
Yeah. Now, would you possibly short pit and then save them 30, 33 laps or whatever for the end of the race and see if you could make it?
If you could short pit, yeah, I think that's a great call. Oh man, it's so tough though to decide because like this is where a lot of the guys that race these have more idea than me. But I broadcast or us, but I broadcast a lot. We should have an idea what the best thing to do is. Like, you gotta at least make it to 170 in order to make it all the way.
Right.
Right now, there's no way you can make it to 170. You're 10 laps short from making it to 170. Like 100% guaranteed. Actually, you're probably about 15 laps short. So, I mean, right now we're looking at a 2-stop race no matter what. I think. I was just trying to figure out, let's see, 30. Yeah, you're still 2 laps short, or still 2 stops away. But I still feel like it definitely could come up to a field mileage race. Like I said, if we get inside 170 and the caution comes out, you're good. We'll make it to the end. If it comes out. And also, the last time Nate has won a race, when I just bring this up, was a couple weeks ago. He went back at, oh gosh, why do I have to pronounce his name? Autodroma, I don't even know. He won at Enzo Ferrari road race. He won that one. Then he went back-to-back because he won actually at Texas the week before. So keep in mind on that. The last time Rick Ravon won has been actually a while. He hasn't won since August the 21st, which is surprising to a lot of people. He won back at Gateway in the Southern Illinois Shootout. At Gateway. I think he... can't remember how many laps he led on that one. So, yeah, there is that. And I thought Jonathan actually hasn't raced another race. He did race Charlotte. I forgot. Jonathan did race the Charlotte race and actually won it. Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed too. Matt just commented and said that the biggest misconception is, yes, they are running the same setup in this car, but you have to adapt as a driver. That is true. Even with the same setups, you still see guys running different. Like the way they approach the corners are a lot different compared to. It's different every time. I mean, some guys run the same over and over and over and over, which is a good thing. But you do see different drivers approaching it different, like the way they turn in, where they let off if you're in the draft. With the arrow and stuff like that. By the way, 33 lead changes. So
we're gonna break it.
We're definitely gonna break 38. Most I've seen is 38. Let me double check the last Indy 500 just to make sure, because I did broadcast, but let me double check to make sure. Actually, I know for a fact
we're about to go green here.
We are about to go green. I know for a fact I didn't have that many at the last one, but. Green flag is out. We only had 21 lead changes last time, by the way. And Nate Seifker able to jump out pretty early. And working down into turn 1. Watching up front for the lead. Rick Rabon looking to the outside, trying to take that spot away. He does take it away. Here comes Tony Pizarro on the outside. How about the outside lane working a little bit here? Out of turn 3 into 4. Battle right now for second place. Nate trying to hold on. Remember, Nate will have to pit here within the next 15 or so laps. So keep that in mind. Which ain't going to hurt him because these guys still have to make two stops anyway. Actually, this might actually work out for Nate, to be honest. With him having to pit a little bit early. I don't know. Maybe not. Battle up front. Rick Rabon under attack from John Poole the third. Here comes my pick on the inside. Takes it away. Down into turn number 3. Watch the Rick Rabon slide out of turn 4. And we got Dan Dees into the wall. He does drop back. No damage. Here comes Rick Rabon. Let's see if he makes that pass like what we've seen all not happen. Looking to the inside. He takes it away. We talked about Dan Dees getting into the wall. There's a look at his car. Looks like he's okay. Running right in front of Mark McFadden. Haven't spoken a lot about Mark McFadden tonight. He's been kind of quiet, but he is working his way actually inside the money right now. Remember the top 10, or top 12, I apologize, get the money here. Mark Walker and Timothy Bates right now battling for that spot as Mark Walker does have the 12th position. So from 12th on up, it is a money spot. Everybody else, you're just here just to ride around in circles and gain some points. That's pretty much it. And I do got the list, by the way, of the payouts for tonight, and I will get them up and let you guys know. 12th place will get your money back. Actually, a little bit more. You get $35 back. You pay $30 to enter, so you make a $5 profit. Not bad. And first place, of course, $220. Second place wins $130, and third place walks out with $105. You're definitely winning some money here. No problem, Matt. I appreciate you, buddy. Hopefully I'll see you again. I'm sure I always do. Matt's been around iRacing for a long time. And unfortunately tonight, Matt Burkhart not where he wanted to finish in 27th. John Poole takes the lead, by the way, out of turn 4. Leads the second lap for him, so a new lead change. There's your look at your race summary. 35. We're 3 laps away, or 3 lead changes away from tying the record for ESBN broadcasting. And I think, and that goes for everybody. I think it even goes for Sam. I know it goes for mine 100%, but here's the battle right
Top
here.
4 breaking away from the rest of the field.
They are. Brinson just got around and actually took 4th play from Michael Jeans. Let's check on Justin Michael. He's actually moved up to 9th. At the line, John Poole leading that lap. Here comes Rayvon looking underneath 1 into 1. So right now, Todd, mine and your pick right now running 1 and 2.
Yeah, not too bad.
Nah, pretty good picks, I think.
I think we're just getting lucky.
I think, guys, it's about time we start placing some bets on some of these races. How do y'all think? Hey, I'm just saying, if we want to bring sports betting into the iRacing world, we can do that. Sam, a new project for us. ESBN start takes sports bets.
Yep.
Hey, I'm just saying, man. I mean, they bet on real races. We can do it here.
I bet you $1 Rayvon wins.
I ain't taking that bet. You think I'm crazy? I can't bet against Rayvon, man. I know he eat my pick, but I can't bet against him. I'm just saying, ESBN Sports Booking comes in effect next week. Oh, gosh. So now we may have a new lead change. John Poole is out front. Let's see if Rayvon can grab it. He's been grabbing it out of turn 4. This is every time we see this pass happen. We ain't seen a lot of passes that really happen too much on the back. Coming to the line. It's close. Rayvon got that. I believe he does. It's now 44 laps left for the driver of the 6th car. And we are really breaking away up front. Right now we're broken away from the top 9 has basically spaced out. They got a 1.5 gap over 10th, 11th, and 12th. And all them guys, some of these guys may be laying a little bit further back. So we'll be seeing Nate Seifker come on pit road here within the next 7 or 8, 9 laps, something like that. We'll be seeing him pull down pit road. Remember, he actually stayed out during that caution. I got Seifker or Brinson. Put me down for $1 each way. Byron said bet. And Byron did. Byron also picked Rayvon for the win. So we got 2 people on the Rayvon. Sam's betting and Seifker or Brinson. So, hey, ESBN now taking booking bets. What is the odds? If y'all are going to do that, I won't favorite. John Poole right now will win this race. Basically, now we're a gambling site. Not legal if you're below the age of 18. I just want to point that out. Or is it 21 now to gamble? I can't remember. Anyway.
I can't remember.
I think it's still 18.
It's 18, I think it is too. I know it is for like lottery tickets, so I think it's the same.
Either way, I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're okay. What are you talking? You call me old?
I did not say that. You said that.
Nate Seifker has fallen back a little bit, now showing forth. Brinson has worked his way. We talked about Brinson, by the way. He has not used that quick repair. This is what Scott Brinson's good for. We talked about how consistent. He reminds you a lot of Kevin Harvick on the oval stuff because he always shows up late in the races. That's honestly who Brinson reminds me a lot of. He is that type of driver where he has just been consistent through the whole race, stays there, may have a little hiccup here and there, but then at the end he's always there. And I think every one of these drivers in here have had a hiccup tonight for the most part. I think in 200 laps at Indy, everybody has that problem eventually. So, but now we're starting to see a 3-car breakaway up front. Scott Brinson leading Michael Jeans, who's back and forth now by 8/10. We may have a new pass here for second as Brinson hop on board, riding on board with him. You see them trying to snake down the straightaway, down across the yard of bricks into turn 1. You see that gap slowly starting to close. Riding on board, looking back now at Scott Brinson as this lead continues to shrink just a little bit between second and third. And you see the miles per hour from both drivers as they exit turn 2 down this long backstretch. And you see Scott Brinson a little bit faster. That is because that draft right now looking at 5 miles per hour faster going into turn 3. That's a great thing right there, by the way, Sam. If we get that new ticker made, we got to have a battle thing put on it. I really like seeing that. Oh, Nate Seifker coming to pit road. That's definitely what we expected. And once again, he is going to be able to make it on one more stop. He will be able to pit on lap 174 and make it to one more. Remember, these guys right here will be on pit road within about 10 laps. Justin Michael, who did pit earlier, he still can go another 15 laps or so. By the way, Nate Seifker mishap on pit road. He just missed his pit box, had a backup. This is a big one. You'll see it here. Right there it was. It wasn't much, but that little bit could cost you. I always say, and I mentioned it yesterday in the podcast, someone could lose this race on pit road. Will that be enough to lose it? That wasn't much. Maybe a half a second, maybe 3/10 or so. Will it be enough to cost him the race? Probably not, but that's something we got to start watching out for because tires are starting to wear. It's a lot tougher to get inside your pit box. So keep that in mind. Now the excitement's starting to set in. Hey, Byron, you ain't supposed to be. We don't care about illegal in the States. I don't care. Online gambling, illegal in the States. No. Don't be. No. We gamble around here, son.
No.
$5 on the winner, Kenneth Blackburn said. That's a good bet. Good bet. So, guys, I'm going to bet y'all right now. I got $30 on the winner. Anybody want to bet against me? So,
your money.
Yeah, right. So we are within range of pit stops possibly happening here. And I'm looking right now. Give me a second. Let me think about this. Hold on. 56. Okay, so I was looking at Michael Jeans. He is still going to be, or I'm sorry, Justin Michael. He is still going to be short. He would have to make it to lap 170 in order to make it all the way, and there's just no way. Christopher Bouchard on pit road. So an early pit stop for him, actually. You talked about short pitting. There you go. If you're towards the back of this field, you have to do something different. Because especially if we stay green. I mean, what are you going to, like, you're here to win money and here to win some, and especially if you're running for a championship, you got to try something different. And by the way, with this right here, Rick Ravon, I believe that will be enough, not necessarily maybe 2 more laps. If he leads 2 more laps, I believe that will be enough to lead the most laps tonight. Maybe not, because I forgot John Poole has a few laps. So we'll give it about 10 or so more laps. If Ravon does reach 60, that should be enough to get him the most laps led tonight. By the way, we are at 36 lead changes, so we will see 38 being broke because we still got pit stops to happen coming up here anytime. So we're definitely going to break 38 lead changes. Michael Jeans right now battling Mark Walker. This right here for the 6th position. Riding on board with the 08 car. See that 225? Here comes a run. Timothy Bates on his inside takes it away. Bates now moves into the 7th position. We'll move Timothy up. Timothy actually started back in the 13th spot. Has done well to move up throughout the field. Dan Neese on pit road. Keep in mind, if they pit right now, they are only going to be able to go to about 128. I'm curious when Ravon is going to pit, or 180 is when they'll have to come back in. Ravon's been out front for a while this run, so now we're seeing what the full effect is without draft. How much gas are you really giving up? We're still definitely aware you've definitely still got to pit 2 more times, or 1 more time after this. Michael Jeans on pit road. That's a big one too, by the way. One coming down. Right now, we talked about it yesterday, and I know everybody mentioned Jonathan Goke within the Top Fuel Racing, but us in a podcast talked about these 3 guys. Oh, do I hear somebody wrecking? We do. We got somebody wrecking. Mark Walker, wait, is he wrecking? Nope, I apologize. We do not. Whew, I seen that number drop. Let me look and make sure he didn't actually get loose out of turn. I thought I heard tires squealing. No, he just came down pit road. But we mentioned these 3 drivers yesterday: Rick Ravon, John Poole, and Scott Brinson. We did mention them, and then of course we mentioned Nate as well in the podcast. But I think our podcast was on point, boys. I think we kind of knew what we was talking about. Oh, we got one in the wall right in front of Nate. I'm not sure who that is. Christopher Bouchard actually hit the wall down the straightaway, and I need to look to make sure, but it looks like damage-wise, I think he's okay. And he has been on and off pit road as well. Here's back up front towards the lead. As Tony Pizarro coming down pit road. And guys, excuse Todd, he's having some technical problems. That's why you haven't really heard him too much. So get that straightened out. But he'll be back in here. Justin Michael coming down pit road. Still waiting on our leaders to come down. They should be. So we're actually seeing Ravon's able to go 29 laps right now without draft. Oh, there's a big runner coming from behind back here. Kind of spaced out a little bit as Justin Michael on and off pit road. about this. John Poole kind of being put in a bad situation. Tony Pizarro goes underneath him as well as Mark Walker. Good job, though, letting them guys go. Fresher tires, all that good stuff. So I'm thinking we'll be seeing Rayvon hit pit road this time. I don't think we'll see him go any more than 30. See if he does. Here he comes. Rayvon should come. There, you're back. Hey. John Poole coming down as well. Scott Brinson does stay out. So he's going to, he did have a little bit more draft, so keep that in mind. Scott Bolster also stays out. So Rayvon is on pit road. Let's watch Rayvon make sure nothing happens here as he works down pit lane. There he is, the first car. And smooth into the box. And I think that's an underrated skill that guys have, man. Pit road on old tires is so tough to get in and out. By the way, John Poole had a really good stop right there. Actually, a little bit faster, 5/10 faster than.
Here comes the leader.
Yep. Scott Brinson coming in with Bolster. Stay out, Bolster. And here, right here, by the way, guys, right here at the line, 38 lead changes. That will tie our ESBN record, unless Sam can say otherwise. 38 lead changes. And I got 38 lead changes in a race at Daytona. That was this year that happened. It was like 34. I forgot who had it. But 38 lead changes. That's impressive. You have 38 lead changes. And that's 38 lead changes at the start-finish line. Green the rest of the race, 50 cents. Pace car for the win. Definitely could happen, not going to lie. Definitely could see that. So now we're watching Scott. By the way, Scott Bolster right here is a one-off driver. He does race in here every once in a while. He actually is a racer from the Ultimate Online Conquest League. Sam Cooper Bennett broadcasts out every Thursday. They run the old Indy cars, the IR05 Indy cars. They do a lot of road racing and stuff. Great group of guys, by the way. That league has a lot of potential. I want to see more guys race it because it is a fun league to watch. I think they run every other Thursday, by the way. And here he comes down pit road. And I think actually Timothy Bates thought about coming down pit road, and he kind of jumped out of line at the last second, stayed out, leads this lap. That right there will break our record. Timothy Bates going to break the record here for us. 39 lead changes. And I just got to say, by the way, we are averaging 9 or 10 cautions in these Indy 500 races because right now we're at 9. Last race we had was 10. So right now we're right on track with our cautions. I don't know if that's a good thing. Probably not, but just something to mention. I'm not Darrell Walter. I just throw out, or bury out like Larry McReynolds. Basically throw out unrelated facts that nobody cares about or nobody really wants to hear. By the way, Tyler Vickery, by the way, closed the gap up a ton just now on Timothy Bates. He may actually get around him here on pit road. That's going to be close. See them guys coming down. Ernie Ludwig, by the way, takes the lead. So these guys is out right now. Ernie Ludwig right here that you see. Tanner Coster right there. He is got a pit. Johnny Annucci, Kevin O'Brien all have to hit pit road. Oh, what happened here? Oh, I thought we had a wreck. So here we go. Here comes Ernie. Ernie actually staying out. Yeah, he can stay out. He can stay out for about 2 more laps, I believe. All this should, quotation marks around should cycle back around to Rick Rayvon.
Yeah, Rayvon's running about 7th right now.
Showing in 5th. Yeah, he was in 7th just a moment ago. And now it'll be showing in 5th this time. It should be updated now for you.
Yep.
There you go.
Shows him 4th.
Yep, 4th. You are correct. I did not see that either. So we'll be waiting on these guys to pit. Ernie Ludwig, Tanner Coster, and Johnny Annucci should be hitting pit road anytime. Here comes Tanner down pit road. Johnny Annucci following suit. Rick Ravon's going to cycle all back through them guys, and he will pass both of them. And then he will jump up in front of Ernie once Ernie hits pit road. So we are not going to have a field mileage race. That's probably a good thing, let's be honest. I want the race to be more fair and square. I hate field mileage races in some situations unless I'm the one winning it. So unless, I might add, unless we get a caution with in 7 or 8 laps, then it's going to be a field mileage race. And guys right now are just like, shut up, don't say that. Now's where the thing too, if you're racing these races, oh, it's a tie. What is the most lead changes, Sam, that you have called? For me, we just broke it. But I want to know right now, have we broken the record officially for the most lead changes ever broadcasted by ESBN? I'm curious. I think we have. 40's a lot. That's a ton of lead changes. Oh, we got a slow car. Oh, it's already ugly. Good Lord. I was like, well. Big race for these guys tonight. This race is going to take us. We started on a Wednesday. We're going to end on a Thursday in about 15 minutes. But I need to check to see. I want to check the last couple top field races to see when they're the first one. The first Indianapolis 500 these guys had. How many cautions did they have in that one? 11 cautions. So yeah, 10's about average for these guys actually. I did not know. So Ravon is coming down pit road, and Ravon has to run this out, by the way, because with him being out front, no draft, no saving fuel right now. He's got about a 1.8 second lead over Scott Brinson. Back behind him, Justin Michael and John Poole actually battling for a spot. Here you go. There's a look at that. These three guys going back and forth. So that's what we'll be with right now. 38 was the tie. So yeah, it has been broken. Yeah, that's the most I've seen as well. I don't think let's be honest, 41 lead changes now. That's ridiculous. And that might be a record that stays around until the next Indianapolis 500, because I just don't know anybody that can break that. You're going to have to run full races, I think, in order to break that. So Scott Brinson able to hold on to second. John Poole holds on to third, and Justin Michael falls back. Christopher Bouchard is back in fifth. Nate Siefker, who's got a pit, by the way, in 10 laps, is back in sixth. Tony Pizarro, seventh. Mark Walker, Tyler Lugo, Vickery. I knew that would work out for Tyler Vickery, by the way. The way he pitted, he made up a ton of spots because he gained a ton coming on pit road. He was a little slow on pit road compared to some guys, but he made a ton up coming on. Now, honestly, I think he would be a little bit higher as well. Timothy Bates right now running in 10th. 11th goes to Ernie Ludwig, and Scott Bloster right now in the money running in 12th, and then Michael Jeans back behind him at 13th, which Michael probably not too happy with that, I don't think. So what we're going to do, take our final break so we don't have a caution. And John Poole takes second away. We'll be right back right after this.
Green flag, everybody. I want to be a wreck behind you, give me a wreck behind you. So I don't know what to do. Somebody put oil down. We're hurting the fence. Are they flagging it? Flag, white flag, white flag. Clear. Click. Man, it's Sit, check a flag.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was always fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos or danger until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all will be kept in the pits. Not to mention that with members in over 130 countries already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series and work your way up to one of 7 world championships, offering over $500,000 in prize money. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
We are a few laps away, and the final pit stops have begun as Christopher Bouchard and Nate Siefker has both came down pit road, and they are down the way right there. There's Nate. Nate, once again, missed his pit box. This time it is big. He just lost a ton on pit road. And I want to give you an idea. When he exits pit road, I'll tell you how much time he lost. He is still sitting there. No, you know what? I don't think it done nothing to his car. I don't think it did put tires on. Okay, so it did put tires on. To give you an idea, guys have been in and out of pit road 34, 35 seconds. Nate Siefker just spent 39.5 seconds on pit road. That is a 4-second difference from what we're seeing in the leaders pit. That will cost him this race if we don't have a caution.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. It's got to. I mean, like 4 seconds here, that's brutal. So Rayvon's probably going to run this out to like around 180 before we see him hit pit road. But we are going to start seeing some other guys come down.
Yeah, it looks like he's got about a half a straightaway lead.
Yeah, I agree. Byron says, let's see. I have to get up in 4.5 hours, but I can't not drop now. I have to watch it to the end. Man, if you drive, you better get some sleep. At least tonight. That's dangerous. Adam, you have to get me set up on the side-by-side brakes. Yeah, it's different. Sam has a pretty good setup for it as well. I haven't seen Sam's in a couple weeks now, but he had a really good one set up. But Yeah, man, I can definitely help you. That ain't no problem. Scott Brinson on pit road. That is a lead lap car that was running top 3 coming down. So let's make sure he gets down nice and clean because remember, we could be the same thing we just happened with Nate. Here he comes to that NWO paint scheme sliding in. He has to back up. Yeah, he does lose time. It wasn't as bad, but he will lose a couple spots. But it's not as bad as what Nate just had. He's done it away, and I'll give you an idea. Pit road off. Remember, 35 has been a record, or a 34-35. He got off at 36 flat. So he does lose a little bit. It ain't much. He is going to go a lap down. But, or actually, no, he won't. He will not go a lap down. Yeah, that Nate is, like I said, I think that may actually be Nate's race. I think with that amount of time, I mean, that's a brutal killer here, man. And I hate to say it, but every race is like that. Your races are win or lost on pit road at a green flag. It's so easy to lose the race on pit road. Let's see. Justin Michael on pit road. Dan Neese on pit road. Here's Dan coming in. Make sure he don't have problems. A lot of guys are having problems getting in. Dan did a good job. A lot of guys are having problems getting into their box and all that because the tires are so like hot. So they're sliding through them a lot more. And I just want to mention
these guys have been on. They've been on a long tire run here.
Yeah, 22 laps from what I'm seeing. Some guys have 18, but 22 laps for Rayvon. I do want to go ahead and mention with this lap right here, Rick can actually pit and be able to make it the rest of the way, no matter what happens, as long as the caution don't come out, which he'll be able to make it the rest of the way anyway. So looking through, we're waiting on. So Scott Brinson is the first of our lead lap cars that actually did pit besides Nate. To give you an idea, Scott has already been on and off pit road. And usually, you know, never mind. That's wrong. I apologize. Yeah, Nate would actually be up there with Scott right now. Nate wasn't far behind him. And now he's like, he's a lap behind him actually. Wow. So John Poole takes second at the moment. Right now, Rick Rayvon is on the island, and that's exactly what he needed. Most laps led, by the way, that can't be. Nobody's going to beat that now. So that's that extra bonus point. Remember, he came in here second in the points, 9 points behind, so that bonus point will help with the most laps led. And plus, he got the pole. I believe I have to double check, but I think they give a bonus point for grabbing the pole. Let me double check that to make sure. They actually might not.
Here comes Rayvon.
Yep,
down pit road.
Rayvon is on pit road. John Poole coming down as well. We're going to watch both of these guys get to their pit box because we know what can happen. Tony Pizarro coming down as well. Tyler Vickery staying out. Rayvon so clean getting in. John Poole didn't have a problem as well. Rayvon down and away. And give you an idea of what Rayvon just did. That was a 34.7 second stop. Total time on pit road. That's from start to finish to pit road. By the way, John Poole just had a
great stop.
Yeah, Poole had even better. Poole was actually a second faster on pit road, 33.7. So the distance between him and Nate Siefker was 6 seconds between him and John Poole on pit road. That's how big that was for Nate. And that's humongous. So, by the way, Justin Michael actually just took over second place from John Poole with that exchange on pit road. So there's a big change. And now Rayvon trying to get up speed as quick as he can. He don't want to allow Justin Michael or John Poole to actually take this back away. Here comes John Poole now looking underneath Michael, going to take that spot back away. Rayvon made pretty quick work there. Able to get around the lap car of Johnny Annucci, I believe. That's who it was. And now you see Rayvon trying to utilize that draft, trying to get everything he can Timothy Bates did take the lead, so that now puts us up to 42 lead changes. And we're going to have a few more of them. Here's where races can be won as Rayvon has to slow way down into turn 4. And that will allow John Poole to close that gap up all the way. And I thought it was over. He really, let's hop on board. Watch this. The car got loose in front of him. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not 100% sure who that was. Was it Justin Michael? No, it wasn't. No, I don't know who that was. But Rayvon right there got to be a little bit steaming. The lap car really didn't let him go. A lot of cars will just stay up high. And I think that's one of the things, man, that you got to be a little bit upset about if you're Rayvon. Yeah, and I'm sorry, go ahead.
Did Timothy Bates pit yet?
He has not. He's still out there. And actually, he could go another 5 laps. If we get a caution, Timothy Bates is golden. Like, he'll start out front. If we get the caution.
Here he comes.
Is he coming down? Oh, yeah, I was on replay. There he comes. Apologize. So he is on pit road. This right here is going to turn it over to Ernie Ludwig. Ernie can actually go 9 laps or 8 laps. And then Tanner Coster can actually go about 6 or so more laps. So Rayvon, how about Rayvon right here? This is a battle for the top spot. That will be John Poole, Rick Rayvon, side by side through turns 1 and 2. John Poole blinking out just a little bit. Not sure where he's at. There he is. He's going to go up really high. Rayvon able to keep the lead because that little bit of a blink there from John Poole. Thing I've noticed, though, and I'm not taking nothing away from Poole by any means, he really has to focus on his long run because Rayvon was actually extending the lead by quite a bit over the long runs. With the clean air and all that stuff. Something that Rayvon has been good at tonight is extending the lead. As he almost got into the wall. But yeah, this right here will be your main battle for the lead once the other guys pit. Here comes John Poole looking back to the outside into turn 1. Not going to be able to take it, I don't think. Using a highline, almost making contact with Rayvon. Now through turn 2. Rayvon going to slide again, maybe a crossover. Nope, Rayvon going to do the Indy Snake all the way down the backstretch, and Rayvon is the best at that. I just want to go ahead and give that shout out. He's probably the best at it. Yeah, he's good at it. Trying to break that draft. John Poole having a lot of trouble staying behind him. Poole has to go a little bit wide this time as well in 3. There's a reason why Rick Rayvon won the Summer Light Series and is on second right now in the points. And I mean, nothing against John Poole because I picked him to win. But he's definitely going up against one of the best right now. Justin Michael can do nothing right now but look on as he tries to close the gap up to these guys. Rayvon once again out of 2, going to be able to take the lead. Watch him snake down the back stretch. There he goes, doing that. Now right here's what Rayvon does like, and he's going to be looking.
Wide.
Yeah, there was a great move by Justin Michael. It sends Rayvon up high. 3 wide, in the wall, Rayvon. Rayvon around, he's spinning to the inside of the track. Caution will not come out. Rick Rayvon, devastating as he wrecks through turn 3. And he is sitting there, no caution flag at the moment. And I don't think he knows what to do, I'm going to be honest. He is just sitting there in the car and cannot go nowhere.
Caution still has not come out yet.
He is still on the apron, and you see him. I think he's just disappointed, man. You see right there, pushes up into the corner. Around he goes. And he is now still sitting there on the apron of the turn 3 and 4. Nowhere to go right now. I don't think he wants to move, man. And now he towed. Oh, my gosh.
Do you think maybe that snaking... Do you think that snaking maybe affected his tires?
It makes you wonder. It really makes you wonder. Oh, my gosh. I feel so bad for him. Oh, my gosh. That is so horrible. So we got to go. We got to keep calling the race out of turn 2. It is a battle between John Poole and Justin Michael. Scott Brinson trying to close this gap in. These two guys going back and forth. Gosh almighty, I don't even know what to say right now, man. That is so heartbreaking. Oh, my Lord. That is probably the worst call I've ever done. You really gotta hate that for him. He had the race. I think he honestly had the race won. Led the most laps. He had it won.
I think so too.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta think he had it won. Like with that most laps, I know John Poole was there and stuff, but man, Rick Ravon gonna finish 18th. I don't even think he looked at the replay. And you can't blame him. Here comes Tanner Coster down pit road. Ernie Ludwig still in the lead. So if caution was come out, Ernie's going to be the one that's going to be sitting pretty happy right now. As I thought he was actually out of gas. John Poole and Justin Michael still back there battling for the second spot, which will be the lead. Ernie Ludwig cannot make it all the way, we don't think. Tanner Coster just hit pit road. So we're expecting Ernie to come down any time now. This may be the time he comes down. And here he comes.
Coming right now.
Yeah, so John Poole, Justin Michael. This may be John Poole's race. He's starting to extend a little bit here with Justin Michael. Scott Brinson 3 seconds back from these guys. Dang. You're not lying, man. I feel so bad for him. Gosh, that's so sad. I know what this race meant to Rick, like honestly, and that kind of made you pull for him just because you know what it meant. And if you guys haven't ever watched Rick Ravon, he's got a thing that he does every day called the Ravon Report, and he talks about these races. He talks about his league races, and this is his favorite league that he races in, or I believe it is anyway. He came in here. Indianapolis meant so much. He talked about it today on his report today. It means so much to him. And he said he had a lot of pressure coming in because everybody picked him to win on the podcast and stuff like that. I don't know if that was pressure that got to him because it seemed like he just pushed up too much. It kind of seemed like, Todd, in a way, he got out of the racing groove up into maybe the marbles. And it looked like it just kept pushing and pushing. I'm not sure what it was. So, sadly, that's what happened.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, me too. So the battle's going to be right here between these two guys. As you see Scott Brinson trying to close the gap in. Christopher Richard currently in 4th now. Tyler Lugo Vickery, got to give him a big shout out. He has made it up to 5th. And now all the pressure kind of switches over to John Poole though. I mean,
yeah, 8 to go. What do you try to do to break the draft?
Yeah, I mean, he's Justin Michael's behind him. Abel, he's still got draft. He's only 5 tenths behind him. Still got that draft. You see him snaking down the backstretch a little bit as well. And man, you mentioned it, Todd. He was snaking down the backstretch like that, and I'm wondering if he wasn't in position to make the turn where he wanted to, and it kind of slid him up. Maybe that snake set it up like that. I don't really know. Dang.
Yeah, maybe you just turned the wheel just a little too quick.
This is going to be the one that he remembers for a while. Every driver has it, and this is going to be it for him. Dang. I think mine was, I was leading NIS, led almost every lap, and I hit the wall with like 5 laps to go and lost it. Finished like 3rd. I can't remember what track. Byron Rodney said he's got 4 other truck drivers watching that race with him, and all of them yelled out when that wreck of Ravon's. That's what I'm thinking too, Jeff. I'm really thinking it was marbles, man. I feel like he entered a turn wrong, and I know we should be really focused on this battle right here for the lead, and I do apologize, and we will. I feel like he hit when he went in right here. I felt like he entered just a little bit too high, and it sent him up the track into the marbles. I mean, that's racing, but it's sad. So I want to get the lap times. Timothy Bates, by the way, back here, he just took over 10th. Lap times at the line.
5 to go.
5 to go. 40.828 for John Poole, a 40.859 for Justin Michael. Scott Brinson really slow last time by. Actually had a 41.2. So a little slow for him. You see there, John Poole snaking down the draft, or snaking down. And also, everybody right now in the top 12 comfortably in the top 12, so they are in the money. Dan Neese is the one in the 12th position, leading 9 seconds over 13th. Just want to point that out. So here we go, down the straightaway once again. The snake's starting to happen. All the way down, all the way back up at the line. It is once again John Poole almost a tenth faster that time. The laps have been increasing. The distance has been increasing. But keep in mind, just like Rick Ravon did, anything can happen with 4 to go. Right now, by the way, we're looking at 44 lead changes. If a caution flag comes out, the race is over. I want to keep that in mind. Just to mention that. By the way, track tip has actually raised to 113 degrees. So the action was pretty hot on track. Now, here's the biggest thing I'm worried about with John Poole. He's got these 2 lap cars in front of him. Respectively, it's the lap car. If you're respectful, the lap car usually gets out of the way. Respectfully. But, Johnny Anderson, by the way, on pit road. But, at the same time, you're trying to race to get into the money. So, but these guys are pretty far behind. I mean, you've got to be talking over the radio, hey, can you guys go high? You don't want to, we don't want to see what happened almost to Ravon when he almost ran into the back of the lap car. So we'll see. John Poole, here he comes up on one of the lap cars. 2 laps to go at the Yard of Bricks. 4 miles. It was a little over 4 miles, I think. 4 miles, whatever. 5 miles left to go.
I think it's 5.
I think it's 5. I think it's 2.5 still on track, yeah. John Poole getting the weight now off the other car. There's got to be some communication here. Here he goes, looking to the outside. Looks like the lap car going to let him go. No problem there. Great move by that car. And now Michael Jeans actually, or Justin Michael kind of has to deal with it, and he does get around it cleanly, so great job there. White flag this time for the 2019 Indianapolis, 4th annual Indianapolis Top Fuel 500.
Can he do it?
Remember what we've seen with Ravon. Ravon had that trouble off turn 3 or in turn 3 last time. It can happen at any time. It seems like Justin Michael doing everything he can, but he does not have the draft over a second now back to John Poole. This is John Poole's race from here. As long as nothing happens in front of him, he is going to walk out of here through turn 3 into 4. Justin Michael, I think he might have it. Justin Michael will be the winner of the 2019 Top Fuel Racing Indy 500 winner. Woo! My pick's right, boys. And there's your winner. Justin Michael finishes in 2nd. Scott Brinson will cross the line in 3rd. Chris Bouchard takes over 4th. Tyler Lugo Vickery will finish in 5th. Tony Pizarro, Nate Siefker, Ernie Ludwig in 8th. Scott Bloster finishes in 9th. Dan Neese, Timothy Bates in 11th. And Mark Walker, your guys in the money, in 12th. Here is your winner, John Poole, back-to-back wins. And I mentioned it yesterday, he is the hottest driver now. Hands down, there's no questions about it. Back-to-back wins, you have to put him in that category. So, say what
Definitely.
you want. I mean, yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't for Rick Ravon and Goke wrecking out in this race, it could have been...
It could have been different, yeah.
Completely different, yeah.
I agree. So we're going to talk to him right here in just a moment. Man, he's got to be ecstatic. Like, you know he is.
Gotta be.
$220 in his pocket. Hey, that ain't too bad for a night of racing on a sim racing game. He is down there getting some congratulations. We're going to talk to him right now. He's about to burn it down. We're going to interview him right here in just a moment. There he goes. The John Player Special, running a different paint scheme tonight. Usually running a Star Track, but running that John Player Special paint scheme tonight here in Indy. He's doing some burnouts. Trying to do some burnouts. Not a lot of smoke coming out of the back of them, but hey, light them tires up. There it comes. John Poole, you got a copy.
I do, Adam. What's going on?
Man, you have to be like, first off, what's on your mind right now?
I'm just lost for words. I'll be completely honest with you.
I mean, yeah, keep going. I'm sorry.
No. I can't believe it. I just can't believe it.
Well, I picked you yesterday to win, so I got to give myself a shout out first. I said coming into this race, I think that you was one of the hottest drivers coming in after your win last week. You proved that here again tonight. You did lead 13 laps. Man, the Indianapolis 500 means so much to everybody. And not only did you win the $220 or whatever it was, which is awesome, that's great and all, you also gained some points. And I know that's big. But first off, Indianapolis 500, talk us through the emotions coming through the last couple laps.
So, I was real nervous there. At least after that first pit stop, I knew Rick was still in reach.
Right.
So I just bunkered down and went for it. And I got to him, kind of got a little tight, and then Justin got to me and then sent it in there on Rick, and then there was some unfortunate contact there, and it was just, I wasn't gonna let that chance of the Indy 500 go away, so I had to win it.
Yeah, man, you got to go out and grab it when you can, and you was able to do that here with the 13 laps led and the Top Fuel's biggest race of the year. Let's just be honest, it is. Everybody that races this league knows about it. And talk us through it, man. You didn't have no problems on pit road from what we've seen. We did actually see you make up a ton of time on pit road to Rick Ravon. You actually gained a couple seconds on pit road, entering and exiting pit road. Is that something you knew you had to do to close the gap up even more? Was you even thinking about it at that point?
Honestly and truthfully, at that point, I was just like, I have to do something. There has to be a Hail Mary of sorts. And, I was really aggressive pit entry. And I thought, second to last pit stop and the last pit stop there, that I lost it. I was, for sure, was going way faster than the pit speed, but Lady Luck was on my side and was able to gain on Rick there and be in striking distance. And sure enough, it ended up working out.
Well, man, there was 44 lead changes in this race tonight, and you was the 44th. So, congratulations on probably the biggest win I would say of your career. I don't know, but biggest win in here by far. Any shout outs and all that good stuff, man? You've done it enough times, you know what it is.
Absolutely. First off, I got to thank Scott for putting on the league and this race. It was a little shaky at the start, but once we thinned it out a little bit, it was excellent racing. I got to thank you guys at ESBN for broadcasting. You do a fantastic job every single week. And I'm not running as pink this week, but I got to thank. I decided to run the player's car, but I got to thank Cosman Ineshu from Splash and Go Graphics. He paints most of my cars up. He has for quite some time, and I just love his work.
Yeah, that is for sure, man. I do as well. So, man, congratulations. Biggest race win of the year for you here, especially. Congratulations, and we'll talk to you here in a couple weeks. I know we got next week off, so try to make it 3 in a row. Now you got the Indy 500 underneath your belt.
Absolutely. We'll just see how it goes.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Good job, John. Congratulations.
Sorry, Scott.
You're way too quick on that trigger, Adam. You're
Sorry,
quicker than Tony
I have it
is.
ready, dude. Like, I'm good.
Bring him back up here, man. I want to talk to him.
All right, we'll get him back up here. Hold on. I'm good. You know what I mean?
He's too quick on that trigger, John. I just wanted to congratulate you on being the fourth different winner in Top Fuel Racing history to win the 500, dude. And you're going to have 220 hard, cold dollars coming your way here in just a little bit.
Awesome. Thank you again, Scott. It was a blast.
Yeah, man, and it was just the heat of the moment out there in the track. So, but good racing with you, dude.
Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, no, you didn't do anything wrong. That was just me not wanting to cooperate with what you were wanting to do out there. And, I was just trying to play strategy. I thought I could jump you guys, but unfortunately I slid through my box and had a slow pit stop. So, but good job on doing what you needed to do.
Well, thank you again, Scott. Yeah.
No problem, brother. Go drink some milk, John. You earned it.
Absolutely.
I'm moving him down now.
Good deal.
Next
well, I just wanted to congratulate the winner, man. That's
for sure.
A
I
big deal.
agree.
Him winning that race tonight. Just wanted to congratulate him personally.
We're going to talk to you in just a minute, so don't go nowhere.
That's fine.
All right. Next up, Justin Michael, bringing him in, finishes second place tonight. Justin, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, it wasn't easy, and we all spoke about you yesterday on the podcast as well. You come in here and you started third, finished second, did lead a couple laps. It looked like there at the end, I don't know what it was. It looked like tires was falling off quite a bit for you.
Yeah, I mean, tires fell off real fast here. I mean, especially the right rear if you were in heavy traffic for the, a lot. But yeah, it was really hard to keep it under you after about 15 laps or so. The air got really bad. Yeah, it was a good race. I before anything, I want to apologize to Jeff. I think his last name's Hollingsworth. I really got into him there about, I don't know, lap 20 or so, and that's what put me in the back and him in the back, and I felt really bad. He slowed down more than I expected, and I just rear-ended him. So that was totally my fault on that. But other than that, I mean, I think I should get an award for the most passes because I think I went through the field like 4 times. One of the times was a lap down, so.
Yeah, I think at one point, I believe you was a lap down as well. I think I actually mentioned that at one point. So I got to ask you, what is the emotions kind of like, man? Are you happy with second? I know you wanted to win. Everybody wants to win here. But second place, I mean, not bad. Are you happy with that? I mean, is it something,
Oh, hell no. No. I want to win. That's simple as that. I mean, that's why I'm going to try to get every position I can if I get a run, especially that late in the race.
Right. Yeah, I agree, man. Well, you come in here, second place finish tonight at the most famous track, and everybody keeps mentioning your name. When you going to get to win? When you going to get to win? And I'm one of them guys. I think I mentioned it a couple of times. You haven't got it yet. Besides, you have gotten the pole a couple times this year, but haven't gotten it yet. Win in here. We head to Las Vegas in 2 weeks. We're off next week. How do you feel about heading to Vegas, and do you like your chances?
If my work schedule works out, hopefully I'll be there. Vegas is my favorite track, pretty much in this sim, so especially in the trucks. But I do like it in IndyCar too.
Yeah, man, you're one of the best to do it. So, congratulations, second place. Any shout-outs? You know how to do it.
Yeah, just everybody out there watching. Scott for putting on the league, and I got a couple friends out there, Darren, Dayon, and I think Henry, if they're still watching. I know it's kind of late, but yeah, just everybody out there watching. I was keeping an eye on the chat during the caution flags, and everybody was pretty interactive in there. So
yeah. Scott, you got anything you want to say to him?
Yeah, sorry, I was typing. Yes, I do. Congratulations out there, Justin. I know you had some bad luck, and I know you wanted to win this race. I know how competitive you are, dude. But good job on the pit stops and jumping over me and being there with John there at the end and having a chance to win, dude. Good job. Thanks, on guys. Second place. I'll be sending you some money.
All right, sounds good, man.
Cool.
All right, there goes Justin Michael. Next up, we bring in the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, Scott Brinson. You got me. I guess you do.
Yeah, sure do, Adam.
So, I got to ask you, the first thing I want to ask you, talk about the range of emotions tonight, man. I'm sure it was all over the place because I mentioned it once again. You kind of remind me of Kevin Harvick because you always are very consistent. And we're going to get that here in a minute. But talk us through tonight's race, man. You did make a little mistake on pit road that possibly could have cost you at least second position, maybe even first, but it definitely cost you second at least. But talk us through it.
Yeah, it didn't help any of that, the way I played the fuel. I just didn't put enough fuel in it the previous stop, and I probably should have stayed out a little longer and put a little more fuel in it and played the strategy a little different. But I had to take so much damn fuel, and then I slid through the box there in that last stop. That didn't help. I backed it up pretty quickly, but between those two things, taking all that extra fuel and sliding through the box, that's how those two guys were able to jump over me. And strategy just cost me tonight, man. But I'm going to tell you what, it's going to be a monumental points night. I was telling everybody going into this thing, this would be a big race in the end, and it's going to turn out to be a big one.
Yeah, points is so big because we had a lot more drivers in here. 34 made a start. Unfortunately, Rayvon had the problem, heartbreaker for him, finishing 18th. And talk a little bit about the points, man. You came in here with a 9-point gap, and we talked a little bit at the beginning of the show, and you said it was going to be up and down. This right here going to help you extend that lead just a little bit more.
It's going to be a big jump now. I'll have close up to a 25 or 30-point lead now, and I know it ain't over, and I know Rick's fuming right now. And Rick, if you hear this, man, you raced your ass off tonight, dude. And I thought you were going to win that thing. I thought you had it. I don't know if he had a slow pit stop or what went on there that allowed everybody to get caught back up. And I didn't see the crash at the end. But I know this thing ain't over. We still got 10 races to go, so
just
far from over.
Just to let you know what happened to him. He actually got caught up behind a slow car, and it just messed up his whole rhythm. It looked like that's what happened. It happens. You know that. You raced here enough to know that. And to let you know, the pit stop, he was actually 4 seconds slower than the guys in front of you.
Yeah, and when I came out, they were about 3 seconds ahead of me on the track. So yeah, had my pit stop not been that slow,
It could
I
be
would have
looking
likely had a
different.
chance to win. But it is what it is, man. This race is so hard to win, either on a sim race or real life.
Yeah.
It literally is my unicorn when it comes to racing. That's why, remember, we were talking back when I won that fuel mileage race and the
Yes.
lights race, and I
Yep.
told you I don't ever win here. I don't, man. I've that might have been my second or third win ever on iRacing at Indy, and I've raced there a ton. I just can't ever win at that track, and I always finish up in the top 5. But it is what it is, man. I'll take the points. I'll get out of here. I'm ready to go back to Florida. I
Got you
leave
some
in just a
gas
few
money?
days.
Got you some gas money tonight.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, man, I can pay for almost half my gas for my GTO, not the truck gas, but the gas for my GTO to drive down there, and I'll be back down there next Wednesday, moved in. I'm looking forward to that.
I bet.
So life's good, man. Other than that, man, I just want to take a minute here to thank everybody, and
Yep,
then
go
I'll
ahead.
get out of here. But
Go
I
ahead.
got a lot of people I want to thank here, so let me
all you.
get started here. First and foremost, Adam and Todd. Todd, I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you yet, buddy, but I appreciate you guys showing up tonight and broadcasting the race and taking the time out of your evening to be here to present this race. I apologize if at times it got a little sloppy and we had too many cautions, but at the end, I think we got it cleaned up and it was a pretty solid finish. Also want to thank all the sponsors, Discount Nutrition, my buddy PK over at Crumbs Customs, Joint Chiefs of Staff Fantasy Football League, all the other guys like Tim Bates and Mark Walker and all these guys that kick in money all the time. Mark McFadden, he's going to be doing, I can't remember what the race purse is going to be at Las Vegas. I'll have to get with him, but he's throwing up a big race purse in honor of his nephew that has come down with cancer, and we're going to be doing a big tribute race for Riley coming up at Las Vegas. So I want to thank all these guys that helped turn the wheels here at Top Fuel Racing. And of course, all the drivers that were in tonight's race that helped put on this $1,000 race purse, because without the drivers, there is no race. So, and lastly, I just want to thank my mom and once again wish her what would have been a happy 43rd wedding anniversary. Fortunately, my dad died what would have been 15 years ago, coming up on December 11th. But like I said, I know he was here tonight. He kept me calm for the most part. We had a good run out there tonight. I'll take my 3rd place and go home. And we'll see you in a couple weeks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in Sin City on October 9th. Nope. We'll take it. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. You all have a good evening.
Yeah, definitely a good race. At times we thought Gok was going to win, and then we thought Ravon was going to come away with it. And then it just turned into a great ending. You know, Scott does a great job. I see what's going on in this league, and I definitely think I want to be more a part of it with you in the booth and everything. But other than that, yeah, it was a great race in my book. Yeah, I feel sorry for him.
Yeah, you got it. That's not horrible. Yeah.
13 cars ended up on the lead lap.
Yep.
No, I just want to thank you and everybody at ESBN for letting me, come into the booth with you and seeing what it's like from this perspective. And hopefully in the next few weeks here, I can get this computer issue figured out with TeamSpeak and stuff like that, to where I wouldn't lose connection a couple of times here like I did tonight.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, you did a good job tonight, man. So I appreciate you stepping in. It helps me a lot. So I hope everybody has a great night. Once again, congratulations to John Poole. My pick did it. I better get split the money with that one, John. Good luck, everybody. Or thank you, everybody, for watching. Y'all have a great night as always. God bless. Take care.